Under the stars is a beautiful place to be, kids.
What are those stars over there, Grandpa?
Those are special stars. They only come out once a year for a very special occasion.
Well, what's the occasion?
The All-Star race, of course, where the best gather for a chance at $1 million. For 25 years, they set aside points and made a dash for the cash.
How about those dots?
Those are the eyes of the beast, which keep watch over our heroes' trackside. There's Little E.
He's my favorite.
He's everyone's favorite. Blowing away the field on his way to All-Star glory is a rookie. I can almost hear him now. We didn't come here to run third. We come here to take all the money. But he's no match for the 24. Three-time All-Star champ. Not even rain in a backup car could stop him back in 01.
Every time there's big bucks at stake, he rises to the top.
And how about the Intimidator? Like a shooting star out of nowhere to shock awesome Bill with a pass in the grass.
And Earnhardt goes on the grass. Incredible.
The first of 3 All-Star wins. Do you want to be intimidated?
Grandpa.
Toughen up, my dear. You'll never make it out there on the track. The All-Star race isn't beyond carnage, children. Look out! Brothers would rather wreck than give up tonight.
Into the wall goes Kyle. Into the wall goes Kurt.
Don't forget the Crest Decade, named for last year's brightest star. Fans voted young Casey in, and he rewarded them with a victory.
The fan favorite wins the All-Star race.
Why is that 25 there?
25 years of the All-Star race and lots of memories. From DW to King, fights, finishes, and stars lighting up the night. We'll make our own memories tonight, children. Gordon, Stewart, Johnson, Edwards, the Bush brothers. Too many names, too little time.
Grandpa, we're here too early.
Nah, we're here just in time, kids. Get ready. It's the All-Star race is next on Speed.
It's a night when all the stars will be aligned to let her rip. Speed is proud to present the 25th NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. Tonight, the marching orders are simple. Drive fast, yes sir. Dig hard, you bet. Have fun right now. From outside Charlotte, North Carolina, Lowe's Motor Speedway normally sits by Speedway Boulevard, but it's now Electric Avenue, and we hope there is no electricity in the sky. Mother Nature has not been an all-star weather in the area, so the green flag has been moved up. We hope the storms stay on the track and not in the sky. We are located trackside just inside Turn 4, along with Jeff Hammond and a mystery pit road reporter you will meet soon. I'm Krista Voda. The math is simple. 100 laps for $1 million. Jeff, every sport has an all-star event, but you said this is the best of the best.
Well,
why?
First and foremost, it's always great to work with an all-star. It's great to work with you tonight.
Thank you.
But yes, I think this is the best all-star event there is because of the fact all the stars are here. A lot of times your favorite one doesn't get voted into that all-star round, so you kind of get disappointed. But here you get an opportunity to see them all, and if they're really good, some of them can qualify to the main event. And you've already said it, for $1 million, man, there's a lot of money up for grabs.
Absolutely. Here is how tonight works. If you have not won a race, you are in our first event, the Showdown. 2 segments, 20 laps each. For race winners from this season and last, it's the big one, the All-Star Race. 4 segments, just like in years past, but this time, Jeff, we have a 10-lap shootout at the end. That is something new for this year, so I want to know from you, is that a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Don't take me very long. Thumbs up. I can tell you that right now. I like this format, at least for what they've got set up. I think it throws everything, as far as every element you can ever want in a race, into it tonight.
All right, so thumbs up from Jeff. More to come on NASCAR's Night of Nights, a night when we will see a shooting star. Just who will it be? A 2-time All-Star winner and current 3-time champ, Jimmy Johnson, will join us live on the set. Will he be the shooting star yet again this year? And Carl Edwards will trade the wheel for a microphone. He's our special pit road reporter. Watch out, Dick Berggren. Last year's fan vote winner took the race. Who will it be this year? All that plus more fireworks than you can handle. Next, right here on Speed. Speed's presentation of the NASCAR Sprint Showdown is brought to you by Coors Light. Introducing the Coors Light 12-ounce cold activated can. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is as cold as the Rockies. And by NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at a Bank of America Banking Center.
These boys love the nighttime.
Reigning Sprint Cup champion Jimmy Johnson.
So here comes Kurt Busch. Jeff Gordon is my man today.
We call him Wild Thing Kyle Busch. It'll be another all-star night to remember.
It's the silver anniversary of the All-Star event, and drivers are going for the gold. These drivers are trying to race their way in to the 25th NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. One of the favorites this night and every day and night of the entire NASCAR season is Jimmie Johnson. He is 4th in the point standings and stands a good chance to win a record 4th straight Cup championship. That means JJ is more than just okay.
Now you got to keep an eye on Jimmie Johnson every week. That 48 car is slicing and dicing.
He's the guy to beat. Johnson used a little hustle and a lot of muscle.
This is his house, and we know that.
And if that isn't bad enough for the field, Jimmie Johnson is on the pole. Welcome. Thanks for coming by to our show. And
thanks for having me on.
This is much more than just a driver's event, and we saw that yesterday in qualifying. You kind of rallied around your crew. How important is this for the whole team?
Every day is very important for the team aspect, and I think that what's neat about this event is that it helps highlight that and puts credit in the areas that these crew members deserve, and on them, because they're a big part of what we do week in and week out. And so proud of those guys. I mean, great stop, great cars, and hopefully we can do it again tonight.
Jimmie, we've seen you win in 600. We know how good you are here at Lowe's. We know how good you are in the All-Star event. Does it take a special mindset to run this race?
In some respects it does, but at the same time, it's just a short run, from what we're used to on a typical weekend. In the past, I felt like we had something with this track and we understood it really well. And then they did the grinding, and then they changed the surface. So I think our advantage has slipped some, and we're certainly still good here. But lately, to me, Casey Kane's the first one that comes to mind. That 9 car has been awfully good here over the last couple years, and I think he has it right now, and hopefully we can take it from him.
But wait, looking on paper, I have good news for you, because you won the All-Star race in 2003. You won it in 2006. What year are we in now?
I'm liking it. I like where you're going.
Power
here.
of 3,
yes,
maybe.
Power of 3 in a row. So hopefully we can do it.
All right, sounds good. Well,
Best starting spot we've ever had. So
that's true.
We'll see.
True. No better place
won
in the front.
$2.7 million in the All-Star event too.
There's a lot of reasons right there to go for it.
The winningest All-Star race winner. Well, Jimmie Johnson mentioned Casey Kane. Fans will vote one driver from the Showdown into the NASCAR Sprint All-Star race. And there is no truth to the rumor that some drivers have created negative campaign ads to hold back other drivers. The fans know what they are doing last year when Casey Kane was the people's choice.
We have great fans, and it's pretty cool that they voted for us, got us in the race.
This is All-Star night. That 9 will not quit fighting. Casey Kane, the fan favorite, wins the Sprint All-Star race. This bug for you.
Okay, our exit polls show these drivers, these 5, are leading in the vote so far. So there we see Rudiman, Truex, Logano, Allmendinger, and Waltrip. There's Allmendinger, and look at that. Lynn, his wife, she is doing her part campaigning for her husband. So Jimmie Johnson, who do you think of those 5 who gets the vote?
Those are 5 really good ones. I'm torn right now between 3, which I know is terrible, but I think the 1 car of Truex, Rudiman, or Allmendinger, all 3 have been driving really, really hard. And nothing against 55 or 20, but those 3 guys have really been impressive this year.
I think I'd pick somebody that's not running very good right now if I was you.
Picking 3, way to leave. I guess that would be a hanging Chad.
Yeah,
a hanging Chad Knaus.
If you're going to force me to, I'll go for the 44. I think that AJ's
I like your choice.
Okay. Thanks for coming by, Jimmie. Best of luck tonight in the All-Star race.
Thank you.
All right. We'll get you ready to go racing when Speed's coverage of the 25th NASCAR Sprint All-Star race rolls on. Who will make it into the All-Star event? You have to stick around to find out. It's Speed's biggest night. When it's all said and done, one driver will be $1 million richer. Before we turn it over to Mike, Larry, and Daryl upstairs and NASCAR Sprint All-Star Racing, let's head trackside for tonight's opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as Pastor Brad Ferguson of Tega Cay Baptist Church offers tonight's invocation.
Let's pray together. Gracious Heavenly Father, your name is holy, and you are the giver of every good gift. Father, we pray that you would be with the drivers tonight as they push their cars to the cutting edge. Father, be with the crew members and the officials in the pits. Lord, I pray that you would be with the fans in the stands. Lord, keep them safe tonight during the event, and Lord, give them safety as they drive home. Lord, we remember our heroes in uniform all across this world fighting for the freedom that we enjoy. We praise you for it, and we pray these things in the name of the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now here to perform God Bless America, please welcome Verve recording artist and proud Sprint customer, the soulful Mr. Kenny Lattimore.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ready to go racing. You know, I bet that that tanker holds a few more than 17 gallons of racing gasoline. As NASCAR's best are ready to go. The Sprint All-Star Race with $1 million to the winner, and the Sprint Showdown first is a good old Saturday night 40-lap heat race to get things started. Here's our AutoZone race format. 2 20-lap segments. Green flag laps in the second segment only count. The first 2 finishers advance, and the leading fan vote getter, as long as his car can answer the call to start the All-Star race, he'll be in it as well. And the winner of this race is guaranteed a total of over $60,000, and if he advances, 125 or more. Wow, what a night and what a way to get started. Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, Darrell Waltrip with you. And Darrell, it's kind of like our racing roots, kind of like short track Saturday night style, a heat race to fill the field.
I'd rather think about it as a qualifier, because there are 3 guys out of this race that are going to transfer into the big show later on. It kind of reminds me of the 150s at Daytona, where you got to qualify, you got to get in on where you finish in the race. 2 guys are going to go out of this field here into the big race, the All-Star race. 1 fan vote's going to go in, and 33 other guys, they're going to go home. And Larry, there's a big strategy involved in this whole thing too.
Well, like in the qualifying race at Daytona, you may have to make a desperate move on that racetrack, but you know what? I may have to make a desperate move up on top of that pit box, because we're going to run 20 laps, and we know the caution is going to be coming. If our car's not good, I may have to get you on the pit road to make that car better. But I just think with only 20 green flag laps, cautions will not count in that second segment. We need this track position, so I may have to make a desperate move up on top of that pit box.
Now, as you talk about desperate, qualifying for the Showdown was rained out. So they will start this race in the order that they drew for qualifying positions, and that leaves some desperate drivers toward the back.
Yeah, it really does. And then the 2 guys on the front row, I mean, they have both had trouble. Kirk Shemmerding wrecked, and Carl Long blew an engine. So, I mean, this thing is turned upside down, topsy-turvy right from the get-go.
Just like we would expect it. We're ready to go on Saturday night, and we've got a special treat for you. Working alongside Steve Burns down on pit road is, I guess, not a rookie pit reporter. Isn't this his sophomore stint with us, Steve?
This is, and there won't be a sophomore slump or a jinx. Now, Carl, I admire the fact that you want to do this, but are you sure this is how you want to warm up for a race that you have called intense and crazy, is by working on pit road?
In a way, it's a good way to get going. I get to see firsthand and pay attention to what all these guys are doing, and it's just like Larry Mack said. I mean, do you pit? Or can you stay out on tires? How's this going to work tonight? And I just got done talking with David Reagan, and the tension down here for all these guys is high. David missed it by, I think, 1 spot.
Last year, yeah.
Last year, 2 years ago, I missed it by 1 spot. And I'm telling you, these guys are stressed out. There's some tension down here because, like Darrell said, there's only 2 of them going to the big show.
And how about what Mike Joyce said just a minute ago? You got Brian Vickers, Juan Pablo Montoya start. There's some good cars starting in the back.
And if I know those 2 guys, they aren't going to be messing around. They're going to the front, so the fans are going to be in for some excitement. This showdown is going to be just as exciting as the race later because there's not a big paycheck, but it's the opportunity to be in the show, and that's what they want.
Hey, you're all squared away now. DW wants to talk to you.
Carl, the guys that are starting back there, McMurray and David Reagan and some of your teammates, can you gain any knowledge from them in this race that'll help you in the next race?
Definitely. I mean, I talked to David, and he said my car wouldn't turn at all. They threw a ton of stuff at it for the race, and so we'd be paying attention to the changes they made. But, I watched that Conway Freight F-150 last night do real well in the truck race without taking tires. So, we watched that. We're going to watch what goes on here, and I think that last 30 laps in the All-Star race is going to be crazy. It's going to be based on the pit crew decisions.
So, Carl, after 20 laps of this race, would you want new tires or track position?
I don't know. That's why I'm down here watching. I don't have a clue. That's why I look like I'm getting ready to go to the space station with all this stuff on. I'm going to have the inside scoop right here on Speed Channel. So, hopefully we can figure it out.
All right, we're glad to have you with us.
Glad to be here, guys.
Everybody strapped in and ready to go, and a lot of big money teams and big money sponsors hopeful of getting their driver into the All-Star finale. Last congratulations. The window nets will go up, and every one of these 35 drivers are waiting for the command.
It's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome proud Sprint customers Michelle Applegate-Har, Debbie Applegate, Stephen Lanier, and Kelly Asencio.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Saturday night, and we're ready to go to fill the field for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. The Sprint Showdown, next.
Darrell Waltrip, a hand in the air, a wave to the crowd. What a Hollywood ending.
Dang, I love it. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back. Incredible.
Wallace comes down low again. He puts the tire. Waltrip spins it backwards across the grass as they come to the white flag. The tempers are hot when there's that much money on the line. It'll be the finish everybody was waiting for. They crash past the finish line. Dale Earnhardt for his 3rd victory in the Winston. No way. Jeff Gordon becomes the latest winner of the Winston Select. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in his rookie season takes home the top prize. Trouble, Jimmy Johnson wins the Nextel All-Star Challenge. It'll be an All-Star night to remember.
You just have the feeling we're about 3 hours away from another one of those moments. They've brought back the 10-lap shootout to finish off the All-Star race, and that usually ends in fireworks, and I don't mean the post-race kind. Here is the starting lineup. 35 cars will start the Sprint Showdown. Shelmerdine and Long both will go to the rear. Damage to Shelmerdine's car and a change on Long, so that puts Stremme and Blaney on the front row.
Mike, definitely one of the biggest fields that I think that we've ever had in a showdown.
So big that NASCAR's entry blank only accommodated 33 cars. So they had to add 2 positions. 35 showed up.
What do you say we get a hold of our favorite Aussie that's in the race tonight? Marcos Ambrose, it's DW up in the booth here. Buddy, got a copy?
Yeah, I sure do. Thank you.
Buddy, did you put a little extra Vegemite on your sandwich before you got in that car tonight?
Tell you what, it's just going to be a crazy start of this race. We've got a lot of cars up the front there for the first time. this year, and my boys are telling me that the car's really free. They're telling me to go 3 wide in the first corner, so I've got my belt tight, I know that. I'm not sure about the Vegemite, though.
Well, that's not a lot of good news, but here's some more good news for you. You got to finish first or second, buddy. So, you know, you can take no prisoners. You got to go hard.
Yeah, we sure do. My first year in the Cup Series. I don't expect to get voted in tonight, so we're going to race our way in. We've got a great chance. We've got a great car. We've had a great season so far. Just looking forward to making the most of it. Thank you.
All right, my friend. Good luck, and we'll be watching.
Marcus Ambrose will start.
Thank you.
We'll start 12.
Mate, I like that.
Want to win big tonight? Your chance to win 25 grand in cold hard cash net coming up on Speed tonight with the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. Catch the race, catch the cash contest. Later on, we'll ask you 2 questions about the race. If you answer both correctly, you could win. Log on to speedtv.com, keyword All-Star to register and get ready to play.
Mike, I think the biggest unknown about this race, these guys only got an hour and 20-minute practice yesterday. They had the truck race. It rained on it today, and it's going to be fast, but it's an unknown about the conditions of the track.
All right, let's get late words from pit road and our NASCAR on Fox All-Star pit crew. Dick Berggren.
Well, 18-year-old Joey Logano has never won a Sprint Cup race, but that's okay because a dozen drivers took home their very first ever Sprint Cup trophy on All-Star night. He was fast last week at Darlington. He's been fast in practice. He starts in the 17th position. The kid could win it tonight, Matt Yoakum.
Dick, A.J. Allmendinger can tell you winning this event a year ago and transferring into the big show was like winning the Daytona 500. At the roller coaster year at that point, it gave him a huge boost that carried him through this year. He's hoping again, but like you mentioned, Mike Joy, a lot of questions coming into this race. A.J. really isn't quite sure what to expect, but his wife, she's had a t-shirt on Vote for A.J. just as a backup. His dog, in fact, even his dad, Greg, has a vote for A.J. There's still time left to vote for A.J. to get in on the fan vote. Let's go down pit road to a guy who doesn't need a fan vote. He's in the big show, Carl Edwards.
And I'm standing here in the National Wild Turkey Federation pit of Martin Truex Jr. I can't hunt ducks, but I can hunt turkey. They're hunting a top 2 finish position. I talked to Kevin Mannion. He said, well, I asked him, are you going to pit? What are you going to do? And he wouldn't tell me. He said, Carl, what are you going to do? So I told him I'm going to watch these guys. They think they've got a good car. If they do have to pit, they have 3 of the 4 individual winners in the pit crew challenge. So they've got a fast pit crew if they do have to come on pit road. And that's all I got. Back to you, Mike Joy.
Thanks, Carl. Well, Truex has been quick here all weekend, so
he has, but you know, not a great pit selection though. He's pretty far back here in a pit on pit road. So, Larry, you think that'll be a factor in if they do come in to get tires?
Well, I think it will. You know, pit selection, that plays a role about everywhere we go, but I think with possibly only 1 pit stop, yeah, pit selection I think will be awfully important.
20 laps. Yellow flag laps count in segment 1. They'll wave the caution flag. You can pit if you want, but you give up your track position if you do. And then 20 green flag laps only. Optional pit stop, regular pit road rules apply, but the big difference, all restarts tonight double file. So if the caution comes out in your 12th, you restart 6th outside.
I love that. But here's the other thing I love too. This is a tire from Vegas. This was an awesome tire at Vegas. Watch that truck race last night. This was an awesome tire last night. It never gave up.
Tell you what I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching some of these guys at the back like Brian Vickers, Jamie McMurray, Reed Sorensen. I think they're going to have to go, and they're going to have to go hard, fast, early because of the draw being at the back of this field.
Coming to green for the first of 2 20-lap segments in the Sprint Showdown. Pace car dives from pit road. David Stremme and Dave Blaney will bring them down to the green. And we're racing on All-Star Night in Charlotte.
It's going to be interesting to see, Larry, right on the get-go, if the guy that gets out front, like he's done everywhere we've been, just pulls away and leaves everybody.
Rick slid back a bit there in turn 1, the 36.
Yeah, he did not get through 1 and 2 good at all. You see Allmendinger in that 44 car pulling up alongside. But Stremme really got a good run off turn 2. But now Blaney's fighting back off of 4.
Stremme leads him to the line for lap 1, 3 wide in 2 places midfield. As you're right, the fellows who started in back with fast cars are wasting no time trying to get to the front.
I'm going to tell you what, Scott Riggs in the 36 and Matt Packus in the 13, they are stacking up behind him. They can't get through the corner or get off the corner.
They're in bad shape here. But I tell you what we got up front, guys. Look at that. Look at this. Dave Blaney. I bet Phil Parsons is about right. Oh, we got a car around in the middle of 3 and 4, guys.
Car sliding to the bottom of the racetrack, turn 4, and that's
Tony Raines. And caution will fly.
Raines substituting for John Andretti, who's up in Indianapolis trying to make it into the 500 for Richard Petty.
There. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Sometimes that's just how the driver feels. He just doesn't know what happened. Got some contact there.
Yeah, that's Carl Long, the green car.
Guys, I know who I think is going to be really glad this caution came out. Scott Riggs in that 36. I watched him through 3 and 4 that time. He did everything but take the wall down.
Almost, Larry, as if he started this race with no air pressure in the tires.
You got to start this race like it's a qualifying run. I got to tell you.
Tommy Baldwin, Riggs owner.
But you know what? I was really surprised. Dave Blaney in that 66 car. I mean, he was all over the 12 trying to get the lead. That's that old Red Rock car, Red Rock Ron. Got a car around there.
Speed's coverage of the NASCAR Sprint Showdown is brought to you by NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at Bank of America Banking Center. Carl Long, the independent driver from Roxborough, North Carolina, has taken his car to the garage. The Romeo Guest Construction Dodge is out of the race. We saw what looked like an oil pump belt out there on the apron of the racetrack, and Carl's car was smoking when it pulled in. Okay, it's time for the first of our 2 Catch the Race, Catch the Cash questions tonight. Who qualified on the pole for the 2009 NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race? If you know the answer, you play by filling out the form at speedtv.com, keyword All-Star, and choose the correct answer. Or you can play by texting the correct answer 1, 2, 3, or 4 to Speed 3. That's 773333 on your mobile phone. If you answer correctly, you have a shot at $2,500. If you answer both of tonight's questions correctly, you'll have a chance to win the grand prize, $25,000 to you and all taxes paid. Good luck.
You know, we mentioned that we felt like this caution really was in favor of Scott Riggs, the 36 car. We saw him on pit road. They actually went under the hood of that 36 car.
Said they made a shock adjustment.
Joe Gibbs Brain Trust looking on. And Carl, how about Jamie Mack? He is up 13 positions from the start.
Yeah, 13 spots here in the Crown Royal pit. And Jamie is, Lauren Ranier's up there on top, having, yelling all sorts of pumped up things to Jamie, getting him wound up. And Jamie told Lauren, he said, just calm down, we'll be fine. So Jamie's doing well in the car. And it looks like Scott's speed. I heard from him, he's got liquid on his windshield. His brakes are vibrating. He does not know why. I got to guess he probably stabbed him pretty hard going in the corner first time. And one other thing, Flea Flores down here had the chicken in Jamie's pits. So he's not feeling so good. That's what I got, guys.
That's an in-depth report.
As long as you didn't have the chicken, Carl, we'll be okay.
I'm good. I'm
okay.
Good.
With the double file restart, if you were running 12th, where David Gilliland was, you will restart 6th row outside. Pretty good. Time for our first question from Ask.com, official search engine of NASCAR. What make of car has the most all-star victories? If you want the answer now, go to Ask.com, where NASCAR fans go to get answers, the official search engine of NASCAR.
You know, as we anticipated, even after just 2 laps of racing, we absolutely had a lot of comers and goers in the field. Guys that were making moves from the back and guys at the front that were moving toward the back.
Yeah, I think, if you weren't real sure about your car, Larry, it was a crapshoot as to what to do to the thing to start this race. With it being such a short race, you didn't want to tighten it up too much, but saw some cars that looked mighty loose.
How about Dave Blaney up on the outside pole? Now here is a team that has not finished a race this year. Not for lack of trying, but for lack of sponsorship and to have the money to buy tires to keep putting them on every stop to get that car to the finish line. But here's Blaney, outside pole, ready to go.
And they have something on the car this weekend, and they're going to race.
Red Rocks Cafe down in Huntersville. Here we go. Green flag.
Blaney spun the tires a little bit, guys.
Yeah, and David Strimmy got a good run, but look at Truex in that one car. He took a notion to look at the inside of Strimmy, but Strimmy slammed the door on him.
Look at Blaney go. And I tell you, that car is flying.
Here comes Allmendinger, 44 on the bottom. And Montoya and Reagan with Sam Hornish, who had to lift because the car ahead of him was slow into the corner.
And I think we have to keep stressing, other than the fan vote, you finish first or second, you race in the All-Star race, you finish third or worse, you
contact. Boy, contact between the 20 and 83 back there. They were bamming the heck out of each other.
It's Joey Logano and Brian Vickers. And I think possibly Vickers has a tire rub, Darrell.
He does. Larry, they wrecked each other, really. I don't know how they kept them spinning out. Let's watch a replay of it.
The corners.
Watch these two cars come off the corner. I was worried when they come off side by side like that. Contact, more contact.
Wow. There was a little retaliation there that I think was a little uncalled for.
It certainly looked that way, Larry.
Go hard or go home. Logano against Bill Elliott. All that experience against the rookie.
Boy, he got a great break right there.
And here's Allmendinger trying David Reagan. Allmendinger on the inside. 6th place. Now 5th. Now 6th.
Now Allmendinger won this race a year ago and transferred into the All-Star race.
I think, Larry, once that 12 got to 66 off his back bumper, once he got Blaney off his back bumper, he's able to open up a little bit of space. But here comes his teammate looking pretty steamy as well.
I tell you what, Sam Hornish in that 77 car, as he pulls to the inside of Blaney, what he did through 1 and 2, he ran the high side and got the run down the hill off 2.
Sam has been running so much better. A couple of top 10 finishes recently, a lot more confidence.
Darrell, it just looks like right now that high side, you can keep it wound up there.
And as they run side by side, here comes David Reagan in the 6th.
Well, speaking of David Reagan, we're 11 laps into this race.
Turn 1, Vickers has lost that left front tire and more.
Yeah, that car is destroyed, and there's the caution.
Caution's out.
That's all from the contact between he and the 20, which the 83 was going by the 20 on the outside. They got together, and it looked like the 20 gave him another little extra shot as he went by.
What I was going to say about David Reagan, Mike, he just ran his fastest lap of the race on lap 11.
A lot of small pieces of debris down in turn 1 from Brian Vickers' car. As he comes to pit road, we're under caution for the 2nd time. It's been a wild one already, and we're just getting started. Ready to restart after Brian Vickers bringing out the caution flag. It'll be Strimmy and Blaney on the front row, Hornish and Reagan, Truex and Montoya, Rudeman and Allmendinger, McMurray and Marcus Ambrose the top 10. But Larry, 11 drivers elected to pit under this caution after only 13 laps into the race.
Well, it was 11 or 12 cars pretty much in the back of the pack that had cars that were not driving good. They came to pit road. Some of them took tires, but I think the biggest thing was chassis adjustments. But I will say this, I'm sure what those teams plan on is not pitting at lap 20. But Darrell and I were just talking with the number of cautions that were running in this first 20. I don't anticipate the guys at the front coming to pit road when we do have that caution at lap 20.
When I look at the track through the eyes of Digger here, that track, you can just look at it until it's got a ton of grip in it. And this tire is really sticking to the racetrack. The cars are fast and they're handling well and they're not wearing the tires out.
On Thursday, Wrecked returns to speed when motorists wreak havoc in the heart of the Windy City. Only one company can bring Chicago back to life. This season, get hooked all over again. Wrecked, life in the crash lane. New season starts Thursday only on Speed.
That was my passenger in the burnout contest.
Yeah.
Her husband, and she's one of the stars of Wrecked.
Yeah, Mike, if we don't have any more cautions, we're only going to have about 12 laps on our tires when we get to lap 20. So that's the reason I think those guys at the front, they're not going to give up that track position.
I had a lot of fun doing the burnout. I'm not very good at it, though.
Yeah. I thought you did excellent.
Well, thank you, Larry.
Here's a look at it.
I mean, that's pretty good right there.
Yeah, you're burning down the house.
Look at that. I mean, this is the first chance I ever had to do this, and I was having a lot of fun. I got a little messed up over here, though. I I couldn't see. I got all locked up in the smoke.
Smoke.
It's right about here you about got a sign.
But see, right here, I come around, and I was done. My timer said, right here, she said, okay, that's 30 seconds, we're done. I said, well.
No, you're in the grass.
I know, but I was just driving back to my pits.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
I was just driving back to my pits.
Now, Kyle Busch got 30 points because 3 judges gave him 10s. Montgomery and Gentry and Jimmy Spencer wouldn't give him any points at all because he knocked down all the barriers and hit everything but the lottery.
It was quite the mess.
But I didn't finish last. I just realized that. Great job, Doug. All right.
It was exciting.
It was. I love doing it. Last year you did. You know, I thought, boy, this is weird. I wouldn't be wanting to do that. But this year I was in it. That was a lot of fun.
All right. Getting ready to restart. We will complete 16 laps this time by.
Now you got to watch tire spin on these restarts because I think Blaney had a little problem with that last time.
Stremme and Blaney. And Stremme gets out of the gate first again.
And brings his teammate right with him. I think the race is going to be between those two Penske Dodges.
But watch Blaney in a 66, see if he can get the run on the high side off too. Now here comes Truex in the 1 car. He wants 3rd place.
I tell you, Larry, I've just been so impressed with those Penske cars, the power under the hood. They are really running.
Matt?
Mike, David Stremme looking to pull an Allmendinger, turn around your season and somewhat your career with a great win here in this night to transfer into the big show. Both Penske cars are on the tight side. David said his car was tight at both ends of the racetrack, but not as tight as what they're hearing from a lot of other teams scanning different radio channels. Guys, the car I'm watching, remember, we've only had 7 green laps. Look at that 26 car, Jamie McMurray on the high side. He started all the way back in about the 28th position. He's all the way up to 7th.
And I like what he's doing, Larry. He's floating it in and letting that thing just eat, and then he just backing the gas and off the corner hard. I mean.
Look at this pack. Montoya almost got into the back of Blaney, and that brought Montoya back to this pack. Now he's got to battle Rudeman and Reagan.
Boy, I just saw a little smoke out of the left front of the 26. I don't know if he made contact with somebody or not, but we've already seen what that'll do.
I think the 44 just snuck up on him on the inside down the front stretch.
I think that's what happened.
Boy, look at Allmendinger pack that thing down in turn 3 in that 44.
Larry, what I love about this weekend over here, everybody brings extra smoke. Everybody brings all they got for horsepower because they don't care if it'll last or not.
A lot of science projects out there.
Yes, sir. Most of them under the hood.
The Penske cars pulling away. It will all go for naught in another lap. The caution will be thrown. The competition yellow. And we'll take a little halftime break in this one.
You know, Roger Penske's used to having his cars run up front 1-2.
Especially in May.
In May.
You know, ever since that happened here on the front stretch, that 44 car of Allmendinger, he keeps sliding backwards. He's falling outside the top 10.
All right, that's halfway, 20 laps. The field will cycle through the start-finish line here. And then as they hit the backstretch, we should see the caution. And there it is. Well, the competition yellow is out.
Wasn't a lot of racing, but what there was great. Uh-oh.
Dave Rudeman has had a little help.
I know that the 26 and the 44 both have a little tire smoke.
So you have Stremme the leader, Hornish second, Truex third, Blaney to fourth, Montoya fifth. Then Rudeman, Reagan, McMurray, Logano, and Allmendinger the top 10. Last year Brian Vickers was the leader after the first segment. But he's already in the garage tonight.
These races over here this weekend, this first race and then the All-Star race later, you learn so much for next weekend. I mean, you'd say, well, it doesn't pay anything to run 6 after 8, but you gain so much information.
And you know one of the big reasons, Darrell, we race on Sunday night, we're racing tonight. That's the only time these cars are really on the racetrack at the nighttime. All the practice is in the daytime.
Yeah, for some of these drivers, this is a 40-lap test session for next week, but for a few at the front of the field, it's a chance to win $1 million.
Well, you know, Mike, $1 million, yes, but if you just transfer, you're going to go home with $126,000, I believe it is, if you win this race and start the All-Star race.
You know, talking about new tires, the 98 car, Paul Menard, pitted back on lap 13
restarted back in 20th, and just in those 4 to 5 laps, he moved up to 12th with that 98 car.
Time for another racing question from Ask.com. How much money did the first All-Star champion take home? If you want the answer now, we'll tell you whose bank account to have a look at, or go to Ask.com, where NASCAR fans go to get answers. Ask.com, official search engine of NASCAR.
All I can tell you is a lot.
Yes, it was. Wasn't $1 million, but it was a lot of money.
You know, the one thing we do need to remember is we had a lot of caution laps in that first 20, but these second 20, no matter what, it will be 20 green flag laps.
Any concern, Larry, if there's a lot of yellows and if you don't stop for fuel?
Oh, I think we're going to be okay on fuel. You know, certainly don't burn near as much fuel under caution. I don't think fuel is going to be an issue, but I think the debate will probably be from somewhere back about Casey Mears, Reed Sorensen, that's 13th, 14th, from there on back. Do I want to come get those fresh tires like Paul Menard did? I think for the guys up there in the top 7, 8, 9, 10, I think it's a no-brainer. I think you've got to stay out.
Yeah, and Larry, if you're going to pass people, you need tires. But when you're up front like these guys, a 77 and a 12, clean air, it's a no-brainer.
Last year, after the first segment, Sam Hornish was in 5th place. Tonight, he is second to his teammate David Stremme. Now, pit road is open, and here comes Reagan and Logano, Reed Sorensen, Michael Waltrip, and everybody from Waltrip on back, it looks like. Dick?
Logano's big problem is his windshield, Mike. He picked up a bunch of oil on it and had terrible trouble seeing. The windshield cover is now off. Logano has a clean windshield and 4 tires to help the chassis, which needed some help.
Larry, the entire back half of the field came in with them.
Well, this is going to be interesting because we still had probably 12.5 cars that stayed out. I'm just not sure you can get back there even in 20 green laps.
20 laps to go in the Sprint Showdown, and then Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night continues with the big dance. Speed's presentation of the NASCAR Sprint Showdown is brought to you by AutoZone, because do-it-yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Halfway, 20 laps in the Sprint Showdown complete, 20 to go, 20 green flag laps to go, and there are 5 of the perhaps dozen drivers who have a good shot to win this. How about those Penske teammates on the front row, Matt?
Looking at the big picture, Mike, conversations back and forth over their concern over the one of Martin Truex, the 77 and the 12, talking back and forth, Stremme and Hornish, about it doesn't matter which car is in front. They just want to make sure that they can get single file and keep the one of Truex behind.
There's no question they cannot worry about racing each other.
I believe that's the car to beat right there, Martin Truex.
I believe that 42 is not too bad, but I don't think anybody's got anything for the 12 and the 77 other than if they get messed up on this restart.
And I think we have to remember, we kind of forget that the 1 and the 42 are actually teammates for Ganassi and Earnhardt.
So it's Penske racing against Earnhardt, Ganassi.
Well, and Michael Waltrip race. I'm at 66, you know, Phil Parsons and Michael and the 00, they're teammates.
They really are, yeah.
All right, 20 green flag laps to settle this and transfer 2 drivers into the big dance. Green flag. And Truex looked to the inside. Stremme covered the spot.
He did that last time. He got a nose up under him and kind of made a little contact.
But now watch Hornish on the outside, see if he can get that run. But Buddy Truex got a great run, but here comes Hornish.
He got nothing for those dodges down the back straightaway. Boy, he just got a good shot from Sam Hornish going into turn 3.
Look at that car creeping up there in 4th, though. Jamie McMurray, that 26 car, started back in 28th position. I don't think it's over with yet for that 26 car by no means.
I think that starting on the outside on that restart was a disadvantage for Sam.
Now Truex is going to try the high side in the 1 car.
Larry, they did. Watch that dodge. Watch that 77 go down that back straightaway.
And Robbie Gordon has moved up into the top 10 for the first time tonight, and they're 3 wide into the corner back where he is.
The one just lost it up the hill. Opened the door for McMurray into 26, and he is there.
But that one car got that run on the high side off turn 4.
Carl?
Yeah, getting reports that Martin Truex says his car is tight. So, you know, all he can do is stay up there high and hope he can hold these guys off. It looks like Jamie's working him over pretty good. And Jamie's car seems pretty good, except for he had the same problem. Too much oil on the windshield. He can hardly see, but he's going right by Martin Truex.
Yeah, he did. He got the outside line off the 2 over there, and around he took off.
Yeah, Truex was on the bottom through 1 and 2, and it was like he couldn't go anywhere.
Car in trouble turn 4. I believe that's Riggs, who has cut down a tire. He could not get to pit road. He's going to limp past the start-finish line, and we will stay under green.
Here they come outside.
That 77 car. Look at that. Look at the run he got down the back straightaway. Well, he can look in that rearview mirror and see that purple car coming. Jamie McMurray.
Sam drove. I thought the throttle stuck. He drove it in so far. He wants the lead of this race. He wants to win this thing.
I'm sure Sam's spotter, as Hornish takes the lead, his spotter Nick DeFazio, whose dad runs Toyota Speedway in Irwindale, California, is telling Hornish plenty of room to make that move. The third place car is well back.
Watch this, Larry. Watch him drive it into 3 right here. Yippee! he was in there.
And no car sticks.
That is. It's not washing up the hill or anything.
But he's just not getting off turn 4 on the bottom, as well as Stremme is on the top. They are putting on a show.
When you drive into the 3rd and 3rd turn at Charlotte like that right there, that's what you say, yippee!
But while they are doing that side by side, slowly but surely, that 26
turn 1, car in the wall, and it's Sadler.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Now hold it up there. Hold it up there. Hold it up there. Hold it up.
That's perfect for Jamie McMurray right there. He needed a caution to catch back up.
Yeah, and what it's really perfect for Larry is he's going to be on the inside. I know it looks like the outside's the way to go, but I'm not sure it is on that first lap for the restart.
You go to the garage, it looks like you got the right rear pretty good.
I didn't see any.
Go right to the garage.
There was no contact on a 19. He just lost it down there in 1 and 2.
Elliott Sadler's night is a short one as he brings out the 4th caution of the evening. 15 laps to go in the sprint showdown. Elliott Sadler done for the night. He will join Brian Vickers and Carl Long in the garage area after slapping the wall in turn number 1. Up front, the 2 Penske Dodges, and as we mentioned, it's a big month of May for Roger Penske and his race teams. In fact, Helio Castroneves and Ryan Briscoe, who will start on the front row in the Indy 500, are here tonight to cheer on Stremme, Hornish, and Kurt Busch.
Well, they're getting a show, I can tell you that. Both those cars are good. The restart here is going to be the trick, though. Carl, what you say about 26 now?
Well, Jamie's just reiterating that he says, quote, I can't see 3 feet in front of me. So that might be good considering how hard those guys are racing in front of him. And he also says he's pacing himself. He thinks that he could use all his stuff up right now if he wanted, but he's not gonna. He's going to let this play out just a little longer before he makes his move.
Yeah, I just wouldn't let him get 3 feet away if it's me.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting about that caution? We know we have 15 laps to go, 15 green laps. We had a couple of 3 cars that were up in the top 10 that gave up track position to come to pit road, like Juan Pablo Montoya, David Gilliland, Paul Menard, Michael Waltrip, Casey Mears. We had about 10 cars hit pit road that time.
Well, this is going to, if this should finish out under green, this restart's going to decide who's going to win this race. Because there's going to be some action here on this restart. 26 is fast for a few laps, so's the 1.
Yeah, I think this restart's going to be big.
I do too.
15 laps to go. 2 cars to transfer, plus the fan vote into the Sprint All-Star race. There's the green. And again, Stremme gets a really good restart.
That's a 77 down on the bottom there. And you see
boy, McMurray got a good run in that 26 car on the bottom. His car washed up just a little bit, but it stuck. Let's see what happens when they get to turn 3 side by side.
This is when you get sucked loose right here. Just get pulled around by that car on the outside. Better hang on to her.
I tell you what, that 26 car McMurray's is pretty good on the bottom of this racetrack right now.
It really is, and he doesn't have any shortage of horsepower either.
Well, Jamie Mack trying to break the Dodge stranglehold at the front. He has half a car length, a full car length now on Stremme, and clears it.
Nice job.
That's the words he was looking for.
Clear. And boy, Larry, just think he started so far back, and here he is. Got a pretty fast car right now.
Started 28th and hadn't had that many green laps to get up there.
Done a great job up to this point. Another car back in there, Larry, not too far back. Is that 20 car? He's been to pit road. He got tires, and he's looking pretty racy too.
Now Logano pitted at lap 21.
We've got 13 laps to go, 12 to go. This time, I'm just not sure it will be enough time to get up there and catch like Sam Hornish Jr. in the 77.
Oh, we'll get a realignment here in a minute.
If we get a caution, that would be a whole different story.
Oh, yeah.
Rudeman trying to close as Stremme starting to fade, running way up at the top of the racetrack in third, and he may fall to Martin Truex at third place, and then Rudeman, and then Logano.
I believe he will, Mike, because he got it. He's been running so high. He's almost been in a wall a couple of times. The car must have really gotten tight on him.
Has a lower line this time as he tries to keep Truex behind him.
Got a 29.71 on the leader, or a 30.04 on the leader, and a 30.11 on the second place car, McMurray. And you can see 77 is inching away from that 26 car, Jamie McMurray.
The only car that is quicker than them, Darrell, is David Reagan, who is in seventh place now, just past Allmendinger. And he's trying to work his way back after a halfway pit stop.
Yeah, just remember, that's one of the cars that came to pit road and got 4 tires at the halfway point, David Reagan in the 6. Just like Logano. But they're kind of bottled up right now behind Truex and Rudeman.
Yeah, if your car will really work up on the outside, it seems like it's really good off of turn 2 when you get the high line working. Maybe not so good off of 3 and 4, but certainly off of 2. I think with 9 to go, Larry, right now you're thinking, buddy, I'd like to just be finish this thing right where I am if you're the 77 and 26.
Hey, Carl Edwards, Larry Mack up here. You know, I am impressed with your teammate, Jamie McMurray, that has not been to pit road. That car is not moving off the white line. He's right around the bottom.
Yeah, I'm watching that too. I mean, you know, the Goodyear tires are holding up. Lauren Rainier is doing his best to tell Jamie what's out front. He swears he can't see a thing. So Jamie's doing a really good job. And Jack and I were just talking, if they were to have a restart, that top groove would probably be the place to be on the restart. So second isn't so bad right now. It's right where Jamie wants to be.
Darrell, when your windshield is a mess like McMurray's is, how do you hit your marks?
Well, you just kind of, you know where you are. You have what I call track presence, and you see things on the inside of the track, outside of the track, and you're looking. The reason he's running the white line, that's what he's driving off of.
Right.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
He's not driving out the windshield. He's driving out the left side window.
He's hunting that little line around the bottom.
7 laps to go. Rudeman goes past Truex into turn number 1, moves up to 4th place.
Now, we do know that David Rudeman, Martin Truex Jr. was part of the top 5 vote getters in the fan vote. We don't know what order, but we do know those 2 were part of the top 5.
I wouldn't be banking on that right now.
No, sir. You can't bank on that.
6 laps to go for sudden Sam Hornish.
Boy, you think Sam's pumped up because it's May, you know, because he's had some great runs in the month of May.
And he finished second in this race a year ago and transferred to the All-Star race.
Yeah, he had the most crabbed out car I'd ever seen in my life over here last year. They've straightened her up a little bit, and I think she's faster.
Now this is the 4th place battle, which is good news for McMurray. Stremme fading behind him, and as these 5 cars battle each other, that means smooth sailing for the 2 front runners.
And right now, those front 2 cars, obviously, you're not going to catch them. If you're these other guys back here and you're a crew chief, please don't tear up my race car. That would be kind of dumb to do right now.
5 laps to go, and you see the gap increasing ever so slightly at every turn. Sam Hornish trying to pull away from Jamie Mack.
Yeah, he was 4/10 quicker than McMurray that last lap. 4 to go.
Tell you what, if there was a few more laps to go, I'm not so sure the way Jamie is slowing down. And you got Stremme back there in that 12 car. He's closing the gap on the McMurray right now, but he's not going to have time to catch him.
Two quickest cars on track right now are Hornish and Logano in 5th.
Yeah, that's what's impressive is Sam Hornish Jr. in the 77. We know he has not been to pit road. He's still faster than a lot of those guys back there that got fresh tires.
Well, Larry, I think what we're seeing tonight is what we've seen all year long. If you can get out front, adios to the rest of the field.
And that's what's going to be keen in that shootout coming up next. 100 laps.
Robbie Gordon almost in the wall in turn 1. We've been accustomed to seeing that here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Running that really high line, but Gordon got up to 9th and no further.
But that's a good run for Robbie because he started this race back in 30th position.
Right.
So he's learned a lot for next week. 2 to go.
Clearly the driver who's made the biggest gains is Jamie McMurray. Started 28th, running 2nd, solid in a transfer spot. He's 1.4 seconds ahead of Stremme, who is holding off Rudeman and Logano.
Well, my most improved driver, I mean, there's a number of candidates, but you got to give it to Sam Hornish. I didn't know if he could cut it in a stock car or not, but man, has he come out this year and shown. I don't think it was all Sam's fault. I think some of it might have been a little bit lack of equipment.
Yeah, you look at his last 4 races, 2 top 10 finishes over the last month. I mean, he's still running 30-60s. There's almost nobody else even in the 30s. Everybody's in the 31.
And what I like, Larry, is he runs where he wants to. He goes in low, lets it wash up high. He goes in on the top. All over the place.
What do you say?
Sam Hornish wins the Sprint Showdown.
I'm happy for him.
And Jamie McMurray comes from 28th to transfer in.
Most thing he's the happiest about is get his windshield cleaned now.
Look at those guys. Are they not jacked up?
About that.
I'm happy for those guys. They have really done a good job with this team.
Carl?
That's an awesome job of driving there, man.
Yeah, here at Donnie Wingo, these guys are pumped. What do you think about your driver coming from 30th to make it in the show?
I mean, you think at 40 laps, that's kind of hard to do. But, I mean, we've had a good car this weekend and just got the bad luck of the draw, which we thought was going to be good qualifying. Turned out okay. We finished 2nd. We're getting a big show tonight. That's what it's all about.
All right, cool. Once we go up there, I'm going to talk to you about what you guys did. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Carl. Nice of that team to let you up on their pit box.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we've called him Sideways Sam, Sudden Sam, and Sam I Am. But right now, call him a winner. Sam Hornish will go to an abbreviated victory ceremony because he's got to get ready to run 100 laps for $1 million.
He's got to get ready, and they got to get that car ready.
If he keeps going, we're going to call him Super Sam.
That's right.
From Defiance, Ohio.
He and Jamie McMurray go to the Sunoco pumps to top off, and then I believe a quick trip to the scale. And then they'll be turning that car around for the Sprint All-Star race.
And you know what's amazing is when you look at who finished 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, Rudeman, Logano, Truex Jr., Allmendinger, that was 4 of the top 5 vote getters for the fan vote.
3-time IndyCar champion, 2006 Indy 500 winner, 19 IndyCar victories, and now the winner of the Sprint Showdown, Sam Hornish. Matt, is he hopping out or staying in?
Well, Mike, he's taking off the Hans device, all the different safety paraphernalia. Now, the winner of the Showdown, getting ready to move into the big money race, Sam Hornish Jr. climbing out of his race car, already talking things over with his team about that race. That was big for you and this team for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we knew we had a real good car tonight. We raced this piece at California and also at Texas, and you know, it was really good. Mobil 1 Dodge handled real well, and just what can I say? I'm tired of having to race this way in there, but it's been fun. It gives us a good idea what the track's like for right now. So I don't know if we can make any adjustments in between now and the All-Star race, but I'm just super happy to be in it, be racing for $1 million, and really proud of this Mobil 1 Dodge.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Daryl, I got to believe this. The pride of Defiance, Ohio. Let's go across now to the man who is second with Dick Berggren.
And he'll be in the big race as well. Jamie McMurray, how did you see out of that windshield?
It's pretty bad. It's happened on like the first lap, and when the oil got on, it wasn't that bad. But then when we went back green, they'd put some oil dry down, and when that hit the oil on the windshield, it started smearing. And really wanted to pit at that halfway point to put tires on, but you know you're not going to make it back up through there. So our Crown Royal Ford Fusion is really good, though. I think we should be really good for this All-Star race.
Nice job, well done, and you will have a clean windshield for it. Mike?
Thanks, Dick. It matters at the payoff window, but not to the transfer spots from position 3 on back. Hornish and McMurray will transfer. Stremme, Rudeman, Logano, the top 5. Truex fell to 6th. Allmendinger 7th. Reagan, Robbie Gordon, and Marcus Ambrose had quite a battle at the end of that race.
Daryl, I got to believe there's about 18 drivers saying, man, that 77 car is pretty good.
yeah. I don't think I think they're taking him pretty seriously right now because that thing was fast.
They are pulling up on the front straightaway. 2 of the biggest cell phones I have ever seen. It's all part of the Sprint All-Star pre-race. Coming up next.
We are back on speed. The warm-up act for the 25th All-Star race is in the books. Sam Hornish, a very happy man because he has raced his way in to the All-Star event. Let's go ahead and show you how it all shook out. The showdown here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. It would be David Stremme in the lead to start the race. He would lead all 20 laps of segment number 1.
Yeah, on lap number 9, Brian Vickers and Joey Logano, they get together. Vickers gets damage to the left front. 3 laps later, it explodes, putting Vickers out of the race.
Okay, so we jump ahead to segment number 2. On a restart, Sam Hornish takes the lead from his Penske teammate. Sam Hornish is now in the lead. Jamie McMurray would race into second.
But the most important part is Sam Hornish held on, got his win, raced his way in. Now he's got a chance for $1 million.
And you see there the Penske crew extremely excited. Yes, Sam Hornish raced his way in last year, second place. 1 spot better. He is the winner, and that means he won 1/20th of the All-Star purse, $51,000. That doesn't even cut it when you know $1 million is on the line.
Well, we'll get an opportunity right now to see what this guy's really made out of because he must love the month of May, especially here at Charlotte, like he used to do at Indianapolis. So it's really going to be interesting to see how he kind of responds. Once again, can he race his way from the back? But don't forget Jamie McMurray. He was strong, too.
And Jamie McMurray is always strong at this track. Lowe's Motor Speedway, the site of his very first Cup win. That was back in 2002. Now he is in the All-Star event as well. So we know 2 of the 3. What do we have left?
A fan vote.
That's right. We still have the fan vote coming up. We don't know who that will be. That will be announced as part of driver introductions. Driver introductions for the All-Star race, one of the most exciting parts of this event because the crews, the teams, it's not just the drivers who are introduced. It's the whole team who comes out on stage.
And one other thing, don't forget, a lot of fans involved being down there kind of like in the mosh pit, everything that goes on as far as this All-Star event, it's about the fans and the race later on.
And this is what's really exciting because it is the 25th running of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star race, and you can celebrate with Speed All-Star apparel. One-of-a-kind t-shirts and hats can be yours, but only through the store at speedtv.com. So log on to speedtv.com and get your 2009 All-Star apparel. Don't wait. Do it today. We still have the 25th running of the All-Star race. Driver introductions are about to begin. Don't go anywhere. Speed has you covered. Speed's biggest night has already unfolded, but it is about to explode. NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Welcome back inside our Speed studio. Chris Devoto alongside Jeff Hammond. And Jeff, we want to talk about what we learned in that event. We kind of talked about it's the warm-up act, 40-lap segments, 2 20-lap segments, but now it's the big shebang. What did we learn?
What I think we learned was, number 1, the weather's starting to cooperate. Mother Nature is starting to be an all-star fan. I like that. I just checked outside to make sure. So I think so.
Because we said she wasn't. At the start,
I know,
we weren't quite sure.
But it's looking good right now. And I really believe we got a lot of, there's the skies right there. It's getting dark, obviously. But I think right now we may get around some of this rain, get a chance to get this thing in. But guys like Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, were paying attention during that race.
The nighttime is the right time. Let's go ahead upstairs. Mike, Larry, Darrell, let's find out what you guys learned in that showdown and spin it ahead. What are we going to see in this All-Star race?
Well, we learned that you can come from the back. Jamie Mack proved that. And all the bad luck that he has had all season long, great runs and problems, it all went away tonight.
Well,
what a run.
It was, and he needed that. And I tell you, the way he came through the field, I would be worried if I was some of those other guys down there. But I'm more worried about Sam Hornish. I really think that he's got the car to beat, Mike.
Wow.
The way that car's running, his lap times were incredible. He didn't need tires. And if he can work his way up to the front, I'd put a little money on him. I love the way he could get off turn 2. Car hugging the bottom really good in 3 and 4, and a ton of smoke under the hood.
Well, if Sam Hornish was that good and David Stremme was that good, how about their teammate Kurt Busch that's starting on the outside of the front row of this All-Star race? I know that the top 10 is saturated with the Hendrick guys, and they love this All-Star race, but those Dodges look good, and like I say, Kurt Busch right up there on the outside of that front row.
Well, that'll be the pleasant surprise of the night because he's got to battle Jimmy Johnson for the entrance to turn 1. And here's a tip. Johnson has elected to start this race from the outside of the front row. That is the pole winner's prerogative, Krista, and he's elected the outside lane.
All sorts of strategy. We cannot wait to see what unfolds. This is the party down the street where everyone wants to be. We will come back here on Speed right after this. The skies have cleared. Mother Nature is a racing fan after all. Then the lights are about to come on. The electricity and energy is in the air. Are you ready to get rocked? Speed Steve Burns and John Roberts will bring out our teams.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Lowe's Motor Speedway for the 25th running of the Sprint All-Star Race live on Speed.
This race was started in 1985 to showcase the drivers, but also to honor all of you race fans.
So now, let's get ready to meet our pre-race dignitaries.
She's here to wave the green flag to get the 25th running of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race underway. Please welcome your honorary starter, proud Sprint customer, Margaret English. And they're here to give the command of fire engines for tonight's NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. Please welcome your Grand Marshals, Eddie Montgomery and Troy Gentry of the Grammy-nominated Columbia-Nashville duo, Montgomery-Gentry.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and let's meet the competing teams for the 25th running of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. Starting 18th, driving the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota of Joe Gibbs Racing from Chesterfield, Virginia, Denny Hamlin. And his crew led by crew chief Mike Ford. Starting 17th, he drives the number 33 Cheerios Hamburger Helper Chevrolet of Richard Childress Racing from Emporia, Kansas, Clint Boyer. And his crew led by crew chief Shane Wilson and the Helping Hands pit crew.
Starting 16th, making his 12th All-Star appearance, he drives a Caterpillar Chevrolet for RCR. From South Boston, Virginia, Jeff Burton. And welcome his Caterpillar crew, led by crew chief Scott Miller. making his 11th All-Star appearance, he drives the Office Depot Chevrolet from Columbus, Indiana, Tony Stewart. And his crew chief, Darian Grubb, and the Office Depot crew.
Starting 14th, please welcome driver of the number 99 Aflac Ford of Roush Fenway Racing from Columbia, Missouri, Carl Edwards. And his crew, led by crew chief Bob Osborne. Starting 13th, he's already won 3 times this year. Driver of the number 18 M&M's Toyota from Joe Gibbs Racing from Las Vegas, Nevada. Please welcome Kyle Busch. And his crew, led by crew chief Steve Addington. Starting 12th, the winner of the 2002 Sprint All-Star Race, driving the U.S. Army Chevrolet for Stewart Haas Racing from South Bend, Indiana, Ryan Newman. He's joined by his crew chief, Tony Gibson, and the U.S. Army Strong Crew. Starting 11th, making his 6th All-Star appearance, driver of the 3M Ford for Roush Fenway Racing, Vancouver, Washington's Greg Biffle. Along with crew chief Greg Irwin and the 3M Ford crew. Starting 10th, this driver raced his way in just 3 races ago. Please welcome driver of the Odine Miccosukee Indian Gaming and Resort Dodge, owned by James Fish from Rochester Hills, Michigan, Brad Keselowski. And his crew, led by crew chief Mark Reno. A winner of this race just 2 years ago, starting 9th, driving the number 29 Pennzoil Chevrolet of Richard Childress Racing from Bakersfield, California, Kevin Harvick. And his crew, led by crew chief Gil Martin.
Starting 8th, the defending champion of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. He drives the Budweiser Dodge for Richard Petty Motorsports from Enumclaw, Washington, Casey Kane. And his Budweiser crew led by crew chief Kenny Francis. Making his 15th All-Star appearance, a former series champion, driving the Ask.com Ford for Hall of Fame Racing, Bobby Labonte. He's joined by his crew chief, Ben Leslie, in the Ask.com crew. Starting 6, a 4-time series champion, driver of the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet from Hendrick Motorsports. Please welcome from Pittsboro, Indiana, Jeff Gordon. And his crew, led by crew chief Steve Letarte. Starting 5th, a 2-time All-Star winner, driving the number 5 Kellogg's Parkway Chevrolet of Hendrick Motorsports from Batesville, Arkansas, Mark Martin. Joined by crew chief Alan Gustafson and his crew. Starting 4th, the 2000 winner of this race. He drives the Amp Energy National Guard Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports from Kannapolis, North Carolina, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Joined by crew chief Tony Uri Jr. in the Amp Energy crew. Starting 3rd, the 2004 winner of the Sprint All-Star Race. He drives the DeWalt Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. Cambridge, Wisconsin's Matt Kenson. Joined by crew chief Drew Blickensderfer and the Killer Bees. Starting 2nd, a former series champion, driver of the number 2 Miller Lite Dodge of Penske Racing from Las Vegas, Nevada, Kurt Busch. And his Blue News crew led by Pat Tryson.
Tool Chevrolet of Hendrick Motorsports from El Cajon, California, Jimmy Johnson. And his number 48 crew led by crew chief Chad Knaus. Transferring from the Sprint Showdown, he drives a Crown Royal Ford for Roush Fenway. He's from Missouri, Jamie McMurray. And the Crown Royal crew and crew chief, Donnie Wingo. Sprint Showdown. He drives the Mobile One Dodge for Penske Racing from Ohio, Sam Hornish. Joined by his crew chief, Travis Geisler. And the rest of the Mobile One crew. Ladies and gentlemen, here to reveal the winner of the 2009 Sprint Fan Vote is Honorary Director. He is styling and profiling a 16-time heavyweight champion, Ric Flair.
Woo! Charlotte, North Carolina, Lowe's Motor Speedway. I am here tonight, woo, to help Sprint reveal the winner of this year's Sprint Fan Vote. Hundreds of thousands of votes that come in, and one driver is stood above all else. So tonight, the winner of the Sprint Fan Vote is Joey Logano. Woo!
Race fans, let's hear for Joey Logano and Honorary Race Director, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And that's the starting lineup for the 25th running of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race.
Ric Flair is starting to run out of steam on his woo. Give it to me, Jeff Hammond. Woo! There we go. Rock and roll introductions for NASCAR's rock stars. It's 100 laps of what's sure to be pure pandemonium. You will see it. You will live it next on Speed. Speed's presentation of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race is brought to you by Sprint. For more Sprint Cup Series, go to sprint.com/speed. By Coors Light, introducing the Coors Light 12-ounce cold activated can. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is as cold as the Rockies. And by Advance Auto Parts, keep the wheels turning. It's an incredible night for all-star racing. This is when all the fireworks come out, all the egos are left, and yeah, Ric Flair got us fired up. I mean, I don't know how you could get much better than that. We had rock star introductions. We got Tony Stewart. We got a rookie voted in. That deserved, do it. Give me one more. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Are you ready to go all-star racing?
I'm ready to go all-star racing. I really am. I think the field really is set, and we're poised to see exactly who, as they like to say, is king of the mountain right now.
And we saw some guys fired up. I thought Kurt Busch especially, he came out, his team was fired up. They were, you know, giving some love to the fans. I think he is ready to go, and I think Dick Berggren is standing by with Kurt Busch.
Well, let's ask him about that. Kurt Busch, you've just watched the preliminaries, all fired up on stage. You start second. What's going to take to win this thing?
We're psyched up. I feel like our Miller Lite Dodge is pretty strong. Our taste protector lid, got to bring out the gold for the All-Star race. This is fun. It's cool. We qualified well, and our teammate, Sam Hornish, ran really well. So our setup's pretty close to him. Long 100 laps, though, it seems like.
And he's got that big, powerful motor under the hood.
Yeah, Kurt Busch, his best finish in this race, second. That was 2003. And you look at someone like Kyle Busch, his brother. I mean, the All-Star race is built for a guy like this. I mean, it's all out, checkers or wreckers. He has never actually finished one of these because he's usually wrecking or he had an engine failure last year.
Well, we know we've seen these two brothers battle each other once before, and they wrecked each other. So, I mean, it's not nothing unusual as far as if they get up there going side by side. But tonight, Kurt's at the front of the pack, Kyle's back in the middle, and, you know, the way you run the first 25 laps and that pit stop, I mean, that is going to be so critical, getting on pit road, guys not making mistakes, and how you finish up. Because track position, I'm telling you right now, every one of these segments, track position. There's last year's winner as far as a fan vote. He took it all home a year ago, Casey Kane. I'm sure he hasn't forgot that feeling.
Absolutely not. And one of the reasons he was able to bring it home, his pit crew, this All-Star Week, it's much more than just this race. It's filled with activities. Pit crews, nothing bigger than the Pit Crew Challenge. We saw it all unfold Thursday night. It was an incredible event.
Tonight, the NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge, the 2009 edition.
You're going to have to throw caution to win if you want to win this 2009 Pit Crew Challenge.
$70,000 to the winning team. Let's set the 2009 champion.
This will be no contest. The fastest time of the night. Unbelievable. You talking about conditioning?
The cool thing is they kept breaking their own record. Set a record and go break it, and set a record and go break that one. So I think they set 3 records tonight, and that's pretty cool.
I had a game face on. I was trying to push the car from inside, but it was an honor that the guys asked me, and it was a thrill.
And you saw the finals there coming down to the 31 crew and the 43, the 31 prevailing Jeff Burton's team. So he is psyched because with that, he got the first pit stall selection for tonight. And you mentioned track position and getting off pit road. It's going to be huge tonight.
It really is, Krista. I think, you know, when you have that kind of momentum coming in, again, those guys do an awesome job all year long. They take a lot of criticism when they make mistakes, but otherwise, you know, it's their night. You know, it was their night the other day when they had qualifying here. Again tonight, they're going to be shining because if they make a mistake on pit road, it could cost them $1 million, and I guarantee you those drivers won't be happy about that.
And they've already been a factor in qualifying and then in the team introductions. And one guy who knows all about the $1 million feeling is standing by with Matt Yoakum.
Kevin Harvick earlier tonight, stellar job with the burnout competition, but this is all about the money now. Your thoughts going in, break it down. What are you thinking?
I really don't know what to think, to be honest. Our Pennzoil Chevrolet wasn't very good in practice, so we changed everything under the sun on it to take a swing at it here. So we'll see what we've got here after about 25 laps. We get to come in and make that pit stop, and we'll go from there. So we'll see what happens.
The 2007 winner of this event rolls off 9th.
It certainly is an electric night, and this is something, too. You see a lot of families down here because this is NASCAR's backyard. Most of the race teams located here, so they are psyched to show off in front of the hometown crowd.
Absolutely. Right now, you see this, you can feel the energy, and things are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger all the way to the final 10 laps.
I mean, I'm shaking, and I don't do anything other than sit in this chair. I mean, I can't imagine what the drivers are feeling right now.
You can't breathe. I can tell you that right now. I've been down there before at the start of this race right now. Your heart is about to beat out of your chest. You don't know whether to go. I mean, you just don't know what to do. And you're excited that much.
And we've got a lot of former winners, all-star winners in this field, like Matt Kenseth. You saw Brad Keselowski, his first all-star appearance. Greg Biffle. Can Dale Earnhardt Jr. turn it around? There's so many storylines.
Yeah, if you listen to the crowd, he's got to get it done. The crowd's behind him. He's got all the fans up there.
There you see Dale Jr. He's getting ready, as are all the drivers and all the fans. Before we go racing, let's head trackside for tonight's opening ceremonies for the All-Star race.
Ladies and gentlemen, Please rise and remove your hats as the 14th Weather Squadron, United States Air Force out of Asheville, North Carolina, presents our nation's colors. Remain standing as NASCAR Championship team owner of Joe Gibbs Racing and former head coach of the Washington Redskins, Joe Gibbs, offers tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. Father, we just want to thank you for letting us do this. So many people around the world just struggle to survive, and we get to be a part of such a great night. We thank you for that. We thank you for the fact that you're an all-powerful God. You can do anything and have. You created this world, and you created us. Thank you for the fact we're no accidents. Father, you're an all-knowing God. You know everything that's happened, everything that's going to happen, and everything about us. And Father, you're an all-loving God that was willing to send his only son to this earth so that we would have a way back to you. We thank you for that gift. We thank you for Jesus. We thank you for this night. We pray that we'll have a fast, safe night and go with everybody safely as they go home. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Now here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Mercury Records recording artist and proud Sprint customer, Jesse James.
We know the players, but this is not just a game. It's a chance to turn a season around, a chance to brag, a chance to shine, a chance to spend $1 million. Who will it be standing in victory lane? We will soon find out. The Sprint All-Star Race goes green when we return from Lowe's Motor Speedway, only on Speed. The teams have been announced. Driver introductions and team introductions for NASCAR's Sprint All-Star Race. This is not just a normal NASCAR night. It's the stars of NASCAR, and now they get ready to step into their office. Woo, indeed. It's time for another racing question from Ask.com, the official search engine of NASCAR. If you want the answer now, go to Ask.com, where NASCAR fans go to get answers. Which two rookies won the All-Star Race? Well, we know another rookie has a chance to do so tonight. If you're just joining us, Joey Logano, the fan vote winner. He is in the All-Star Race. Jamie McMurray, Sam Hornish, also racing their way in. I'm
guaranteeing you right now, things are really starting to tighten up. I promise you, folks, you better tie that television set down because it's getting ready to get wild and woolly.
That's right. Jeff Hammond, Chris Devoda in our Speed studio. Let's go upstairs. Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, Darrell Waltrip. Are you guys feeling the energy in this place tonight?
Look, just how do you handicap the front of this field? Jimmy Johnson considers this his house. Kurt Busch has had a huge resurgence. Matt Kenseth won the first two races of the year. Junior hasn't won in how long? Mark Martin, first two-win season in 10 years. How do you pick a winner just out of that bunch?
Well, you don't, and that's what makes this race so much fun. It's unpredictable. There have been more races won here, this All-Star race, on last lap incidences. I'm not going to say passes. I'm not going to say what, but incidences. And it'll it'll be the same thing tonight. I guarantee it.
You got to be careful about telling that driver checkers or wreckers. I told Davey Allison that in 1992. He misunderstood me. He brought me both of them. He brought me half of a steering wheel and the checkered flag. So you want to be careful with checkers or wreckers.
There's a good chance they may not have enough records.
They may not.
At this place, the way we've seen the Sprint All-Star race play out. There they are. 21 of America's best. Ready to roll and ready for those famous words.
Race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome Columbia-Nashville duo Montgomery Gentry.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
The engines have fired and the fireworks are in the sky. Will we see fireworks on the track? You have to stick around. The All-Star Race, NASCAR's biggest night, about to unfold. Don't go anywhere. Cars on the track right after this.
Under the bright lights of Lowe's Motor Speedway, 21 drivers in search of $1 million payday. The day started out nasty. Big bands of showers coming across Greater Charlotte. Got soaked a couple of times, but then it all cleared out, and now under 75-degree skies, there's a wind out of the southwest and heavy clouds. The AutoZone race format for tonight will run 150 miles. That's 100 laps in 4 segments. The first segment, 50 laps. And after you complete lap 25, you must then come to pit road for a 4-tire change. A caution after 50 laps, a 20-lap segment, another caution, a 20-lap segment that Kyle Busch called the hot dog segment because he thinks that's when everybody will go for hot dogs, but he calls that the most important segment of this race. And then the final shootout, 10 green flag laps, and the winner makes over $1 million. So what about that hot dog segment?
There is no question. You have got to do everything you can in that segment to get as much track position as possible for those 10 green flag laps.
Double file restarts once again all through this race. There is no overdrive or green white checker because this race will end under green. Only green flag laps count as you have a look at our sprint starting grid. And as you do, let's have a chat with the man in row 2.
Yeah, speaking of hot dogs, Dale Jr., it's a DW. Got a copy, buddy? Hey, Junebug, got a copy, buddy? And we're having a little technical issue here. Let me try one more time. Dale Jr., DW here, you got a copy, bud?
Second.
He's getting his pit road speed.
Okay.
We'll wait on him here a second. We'll get back to him.
Come back on that again. You can cut yourself off in the beginning. 4,000, second gear.
Sounds like they about got that figured out. We'll try one more time. Dale Jr., it's DW, buddy. You got a copy?
Well, Darrell, we'll let them get their business done.
We'll talk to him in a little while.
Okay.
He's getting ready to race for $1 million.
But that pit road speed is so important, mainly because, Mike, that pit stop you talked about at lap 25, that's a green flag pit stop. And I think that there's going to be so much determined. I think we're going to have a lot of problems and penalties on that 25 lap green flag stop.
Now, if for some reason we're under caution at 25 laps, when we go back to green, the mandatory stop would be the 3rd time by once we go back under the green flag.
21 cars on pit road all at one time for 4 tires.
That in and of itself is going to be pretty exciting.
I think so.
Just watching that happen.
All right, let's get down to pit road, beginning with Matt Yoakum.
Mike, tonight, if you're Kyle Busch and the M&M's team, it's a combo platter of agendas. Now, if you're Kyle Busch, every race is an all-star race, and he wants to score a W to add to his racing resume. He led the most laps in this event a year ago and then had a motor problem. If you talk to his crew chief, Steve Addington, they're trying a few new things tonight to use as an opportunity to maybe find something better for next week's marquee event, the Coca-Cola 600. And, of course, if you're JD or Joe Gibbs, your agenda, you just don't want to see your car leave here on the flatbed. Those things cost a lot of money. Could be a big money night for this JGR team. Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, Jeff Gordon is a big money driver. He's won this event 3 different times. His crew chief, Steve Letarte, said this is a setup that we've never even practiced. It's a Texas setup on steroids. We just hope it has enough grip, Dick Berggren.
Well, if Larry McReynolds is right, and he probably is, that the pit crews are going to play an important role in the win for this race this evening, give the advantage to these guys. They work for Matt Kenseth, and many think this is the best team on pit road. Kenseth himself starts in the 3rd position tonight. He is a past winner of this event. He drives car 17 and starts 3rd.
Our other pit reporter, Carl Edwards, is busy at his day job tonight. He will line up his number 99 in 12th place.
One thing you don't want to do, Mike, is you don't want to take yourself out of this race early. No. You know, you got to hang around to get the $1 million.
And on point, Jimmy Johnson, the driver who has banked more All-Star money than anyone, $2.7 million. And as we told you during pre-race, the pole winner at every NASCAR race has the option of starting on the inside of the front row or the outside, and only the pole winner has that option. Johnson's chosen the outside.
Yeah, and you don't do that very often, but there are cases like here tonight where we see off turn 2 seems to have a huge advantage. Makes good sense if he can beat the 2 car to the corner.
Jimmy and his Hendrick teammates happy to have the boss back at the track. Rick Hendrick is here, and we listened in on his conversation with Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy, you got a copy, Jimmy? Put it to him, man. Have some fun. Be careful.
Forward, boss. Good to hear your voice, and hopefully we get you the victory lane tonight.
I hope I didn't get dressed up for nothing, man.
I feel the same way. We'll do my best.
I should have got Mr. Hendrick to talk to Dale Jr. for me.
50 laps, segment 1. After they complete 25 laps, each driver must immediately then come to pit road for 4 tires. All restarts double file, and the leader at the end of this segment gets a $25,000 bonus.
That adds as much to this race as anything. All restarts double file all night long.
I love that. That's short track America Saturday night at its best.
It makes so much sense, and it's really a rule I wish they would apply all year long, not just in a special event like this.
Hard to do in a 500 or 600 mile race with.
Not really. It'd be perfect.
Well, DW.
Yes, sir.
It's Saturday night.
You got it,
It's
Larry.
time to party. It's $1 million party. Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
Never more appropriate. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go All-Star Racing, boys. Look at those hound dogs. Whoopee.
3 wide. Who's that way up on the outside? Of course, it's Kyle Busch. 3 wide.
Got to get them while they're all ganged up here, I guess.
It looks like choosing the outside paid off for that 48 car. Let's see what happens when they get to 3 and 4.
He's got company up on the outside. Kurt Busch slides up high, and Jimmy Johnson is going to lead the first lap of the Sprint All-Star race.
Might not be very good news for everybody else, because you get out front here, man, it just seems like you can drive off and leave everybody like we've seen so many times this year.
But once again, when you think, what is Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson thinking, choosing the outside, look at the lead they've already got.
No, it's not what are they thinking. You know they're thinking something that's out of the box.
Boy, Casey Kane in the 9 rocketed out of that second pack. He has caught Matt Kenseth. Kenseth is going to have to deal with him for 5th place here in about a lap. Ryan Newman and Kyle Busch behind him. Kyle started 13th. He's picked up 5 spots.
Yeah, he's making a lot of good moves, but looks like that Jeff Gordon's experimental setup might be working out the well, too. He's hanging right here, and here comes that 18 car on the bottom. That hadn't worked very well for a lot of guys.
3 wide, Newman in the middle of that sandwich.
Whoa. Kane had to get out of the gas. I think he might have gotten into the fence.
But you know, we're not surprised at that 18 car. He qualified right up at the front, but in qualifying, it included a 4-tire pit stop. They had a lug nut penalty that cost them 5 seconds in qualifying.
2nd place, Junior on the bottom.
Look at that old white 88 car now. It's on the move, looking pretty good. Whoops, pushed up a little bit there in the middle of the corner.
And boy, when he did, Jeff Gordon in that 24 car just pulled right up to his rear bumper through 3 and 4.
You know, these cars are just so fast, Larry. They have a hard time hugging the bottom. I mean, this track normally is a bottom feeder here, but it looks to me like the speed is up at the top where you can keep her wound up.
Well, that's exactly what Kurt Busch in the 2 car and Matt Kenseth in the 17 back in 5th are doing. They are working the high side of both ends of the racetrack.
Whoa, June, look out.
Here comes Gordon on the inside of his Hendrick teammate, Dale Jr., but now he's got Matt Kenseth alongside in the 17.
Hey, that 17 car looks fast, Larry, and you know, based on what we saw out of that 26, his teammate in the other race there, those cars have got a lot of steam on the hood tonight.
Just get such a great run off the corner when you keep that thing wound up on the high side.
There's just so much grip up there. It's shorter around the bottom, and normally that's the way to go here, but man, you get off the corner with so much power.
Jimmy Johnson with a 2-second lead. Kurt Busch has broken away from the pack, which is Kenseth, Earnhardt, Gordon, and Kyle Busch.
I believe Kenseth, if he can get out of traffic, he may have something for the leader up there if he can get to him.
Well, we know we have that 4-tire stop coming under green. They call his pit crew the Killer Bees. They'll pick him up some time in there.
Got a pretty good pit box, too. He's in early off of turn 4. He likes that spot.
Kyle Busch on the outside of Dale Jr. 5th place. Give it to Kyle Busch.
Yeah, it looks like Junior's car starting to fade a little bit. That 24 car isn't fading, though. Here he comes, and he's a bottom feeder.
Boy, Junior, I think, got in trouble big time over there in turn 1 and 2 in that 88 car. Had to really jump out of the throttle.
Yeah, Larry, the handle is gone.
Mark Martin and now Ryan Newman go past the 88.
7 laps, and already the car's looking like it might be getting real bad loose with him.
Kyle Busch coming. Matt Kenseth, his next intended victim. Busch's last lap was 0.3 faster than Matt's.
And it looks like that 18 car can go about anywhere he wants to go right now because he's running the bottom and he's running the top. I tell you, a car that's on the move, Tony Stewart had a miscue on his qualifying. He was supposed to get 4 tires. He left after 2, started back in 15th. He just cracked the top 10, moved in the 10th of that 14 car.
That was very kind of you to call that a miscue.
That was a huge miscue.
That's a driver with his brain kicked out of gear.
Tony said he was concentrating so hard on his launch out of the pits.
Welcome to the top 10, bud. Good job.
There you go. When the jack went down, off he went. They still had 2 tires to change. He says, back in a minute. I'll be right back. And he backed up and got the other 2 tires. No penalty.
We thought that 24 car might have been fading just a little bit ago, but now he's pulled right up to the rear bumper of 2nd place Kurt Busch in the 2 car.
Dick Berggren.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just playing his loose, and he's having problems with the right front settling in on the bump stop, Mike.
It's just falling over on the right front, that's all.
2 by 2 for 2nd and for 4th. And they tuck in line for 4th, but for 2nd, Jeff Gordon's going to try to steal it away down in turn 1.
It doesn't matter what kind of season Jeff Gordon's having. When he comes to All-Star Weekend and that old $1 million carrot's dangling out there, Big Daddy ramps it up a notch.
He's the money man. Trust me.
Sir.
One more $1 million race than anybody I know.
Jimmy Johnson with a 3-second lead over Jeff Gordon. We'll have pit stops in about 9 laps, and the second question of the Catch the Race, Catch the Cash contest is coming up soon. Don't miss your chance to play to win cold hard cash. You get both of tonight's questions right, you'll automatically be entered to win the grand prize, $25,000. Make sure you answered question number 1. Question 2 is coming up, and the contest was scheduled to end at midnight tonight, but due to overwhelming response, we're going to keep the lines open until 2 a.m. Eastern time, so you can get your answers in.
Now here's something I'm seeing, Larry. I'm seeing that 48 car slow down, and that 24 car, they're about 0.4 better right now. But here's the good news for the 48 car and the bad news for the 24. They're going to make a pit stop here very shortly. Let's see what Steve has to say about the 24, Steve.
Well, Darrell, in anticipation of that pit stop, Jeff Gordon just told Steve Letarte she's a little snug in the middle and a little loose off, but she's not bad.
Guys, we're about 6 laps away from that green flag stop, and a car that I have been watching is the car that was the fan vote. Joey Logano, the rookie, started back in 21st. Watching the lap times, he's faster than anybody out there right now, sitting back in 11th position.
Could be from that, 40 laps of practice he's already had, Larry. They made some adjustments to that car going into this deal. Could pay off.
Worked for Casey Kane last year. He
Sure
was the
did.
fan vote, and he went on to win. Kurt Busch just ran down Jeff Gordon, caught him, and then suddenly, in the space of half a lap, can't do anything with him.
Looks like it's back to that same old deal, though. You got to be able to run off the corner over there high to get that steam down the back. But if you can't get that pass made there, it's almost impossible to pass anywhere else.
That's just what happened, Darrell. Kurt was so good off turn 2, caught Jeff in a flash, but hasn't been able to get alongside. Now here's Sam Hornish and Jamie Mack. They are battling for 13th place after starting back at 19th and 20th.
That time now, the 24 got messed up off of turn 2 and gave Kurt a little room off there to make this pass, maybe.
But watch the 24 car on the high side. Now, it almost looks like the 24 car is getting tight in the middle of the corner, won't turn.
Well, and the other thing, Larry, you can run the bottom pretty good, seems like in 3 and 4, but you have got to run high off turn 2 to make any time.
Matt, how about Jimmy Johnson?
Chad Knaus already having Jimmy break down exactly the feel that he is getting in his race car at the moment. Jimmy said that the car much tighter up top than it is in the bottom, which sort of surprised him, but he also said the racetrack is really starting to change. He's noticed it over the past 3 or 4 laps. The track is starting to change as we get closer to that first stop.
Well, Matt, they are definitely the 2 and the 24 are cutting into the big lead that the 48 car had. Just that lap alone, they picked up 4/10 on the leader.
And I'm sure what most of these crew chiefs would love to do is any chassis adjustments, if possible, do it with air pressure. That way you don't bog the stop down with somebody out there changing the track bar or changing the wedge. You can make that air pressure adjustment now.
Now they've turned the lights on at the entrance to pit road. The pit closed lights. That will be used as the indication to the teams and the drivers as to when pit road is open, just after the conclusion of lap 25, which we are working now.
Well, Mike, one of the biggest stories of 2009 in my book has been mistakes on pit road, whether it's lug nuts falling off, lug nuts loose, speeding on pit road, and I just think we're going to have a lot of that when we get to this green flag stop.
Tell you one thing, that 48 is going to be happy to make this stop because his car is really falling off. I'm not so sure Kurt Busch isn't going to catch him before we make this pit stop.
All right, Jimmy's just completed 25 laps. So it'll be regular green flag stop rules the next time he comes around. The field cycles through turn 4, and then that light should change to green, signifying that pit road is open, and there it is.
Now,
so everybody
will be coming to pit road. Everybody.
All right, got to be careful. No speeding here, boys. This is going to be critical.
The good thing here is that we're using only every other pit stall. So there's plenty of room to get in, plenty to get out. Dick Berggren.
Matt Kenseth just told the crew the car is almost perfect in 3 and 4, a little bit tight in turns 1 and 2. He comes into his pit stall absolutely perfectly, parked it just the way he should. Pit road, a busy place, Steve.
Air pressure adjustment for Jeff Gordon. Dick, he said the car's gotten pretty tight in the middle. He's having a hard time on the cut. Timmy Latiga and Clay Robinson, the tire changers, Matt.
And the 48 of Jimmy Johnson looking at pulling a spring rubber on the left rear. Meanwhile, the 18 of Kyle Busch overshot his pit box. He had to back it up slightly, losing considerable amount of time here on pit road. He entered pit road in the 3rd position.
Jimmy Johnson leads the race off pit road. Jeff Gordon, Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, the Killer Bees, got Matt 2 spots.
They do it no matter where we're at or what the conditions are.
Now watch this 48 car on 4 fresh tires. This is where he was really bad fast. And at the end of that 25 lap run there, he was slowing down a lot.
Let's have a look at what happened in Kyle Busch's pit with the number 18.
You can see the official. You got to get him back behind that line, which what they did there, the crew did absolutely right, because if they'd have started doing the pit stop, they'd be for a penalty as we got a battle for second
again with Kurt Busch in the 2, Jeff Gordon in the 24.
It just seems like, Larry, that the 48 has the perfect setup to me. He's bad fast on 4 fresh tires, then he slows down right near the end of the 25 laps.
And what will we have at the end? A short run.
And I think they've planned it perfectly.
The problem with Kyle Busch on pit road cost him 2 positions. Right now he is trying to catch and pass Mark Martin in the number 5, Steve.
And Mark Martin really likes his race car. He said the car started off a little bit loose, then it neutralized, and then went a little bit snug, just the way they planned it. No changes on that 5 car on that stop.
And here's Kyle Busch trying to make up a 2-spot deficit for shooting past his pit stall on pit road.
Well, he's accustomed. Last night in the truck race, he had to start in the back about 3 different times. He ended up second last night, but he had a lot of trouble last night too.
One other thing these teams have to think about: if rain becomes a factor, this race could be complete at the end of this 50-lap segment or anytime thereafter if rain puts a damper on things.
So we have $2 million breaks in this race, theoretically. If
Okay.
it should get called at 51 laps, that's $1 million. But if you had to run the whole thing,
that's $1 million.
That's $1 million.
Okay. Now,
It just happens to be the same $1 million.
You just looked out the windshield of Joey Logano's car, the 20, up there at Tony Stewart. Tony has been in this All-Star race 10 times. It was in the 20 car. He just drove by Logano to get back in the top 10. It's a battle for 13th right now between Casey Kane, the winner from a year ago, in the 9, and McMurray in the 26.
Larry, I'm watching lap times. The 28 was 4/10, or the 48 was 4/10 quicker than Kurt and Jimmy and Jeff Gordon. Right now, it's starting to equal back out, balancing out a little bit as we go into the run. But look how far ahead Jimmy is of those 2 guys. They got the perfect setup.
Can Jimmy Johnson hold on to a 2-second lead? We'll find out with 19 laps to go in segment 1 of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. Speed's coverage of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race is brought to you by Sprint. For more Sprint Cup Series, go to sprint.com/speed. By Carfax. And by NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at a Bank of America Banking Center. 13 laps to go in segment 1, and Jimmy Johnson not only held on to his 2-second lead, he has padded it by another ½ second over Kurt Busch.
But just watching these cars go around the racetrack and looking at these lap times, I tell you, when we stop this race and we get everybody bunched back up, I think you're going to see a lot of different agendas here, and you're going to see some cars that haven't been up front that are going to get up front.
Now, Carl Edwards has moved up to 7th place, but is it a strong 7th, Steve?
Mike, 2 quick updates for you. Ryan Newman stopped unexpectedly on lap 36. I just talked to Bobby Hutchins. He said they think something broke in the suspension. They're not sure what. Also, Carl Edwards, the 99, they think they have a loose lug nut on the right front, but he is not going to come in.
Well, he's got to ride it out for 12 more laps, and there's Ryan Newman right now. He is a lap down. Of course, we still, even though this is a special event,
like it's dragging right there.
we still have the free pass, but you can see the sparks. Something's definitely broke on that 39 car. You can see the left front's down.
Yeah, the splitter is hitting the ground.
Splitter looks okay, Ryan. It's something a little further back that's dragging, it looks like.
Maybe a brace under there, but something, it looks like, I thought it was a splitter.
Casey Kane has just moved past Bobby Labonte. That's for 11th, just outside the top 10. We're at 10th place. Joey Logano has picked up 11 spots from where he started.
This is a repeat of that first 25 lap segment. The 2 and the 24 are starting to eat back into the 48's lead now.
And I'm going to tell you who else is back there that's pretty quick, Darrell. Right behind Jeff Gordon in the 24 is Mark Martin in that 5 car. We know he's pretty happy with his car right now.
Mark is the second fastest car on the racetrack that lap to Jeff Gordon.
Well, I never thought I'd say this, and not in Mark's career, but he's the hottest driver on the racetrack.
The kid.
Mark Martin.
And he has the kid above his door this week.
He does. I'm telling you, he's on fire.
Called old man.
He's on fire.
age 50.
Ain't no crazy old man driving that car, I can tell you.
And still winning.
This battle here just will not go away with 9 laps to go in this first segment. The battle for second between Kurt Busch and Jeff Gordon. Kurt continues to run the high side. Gordon's hugging the bottom.
But like you said, as they look in their rearview mirror, right behind them, Mark is closing on them. And not too far behind Mark is the 18 who's trying to overcome that mistake in the pits.
Now, Mark Martin's won 2 races this year. Weren't they both on Saturday nights?
Yes, they were.
Yeah,
They were. Phoenix and Darlington.
They really were.
Phoenix and Darlington.
In the nighttime.
You know, I know we have possibly a loose wheel on the 99, but I've got to say, I was pretty impressed with the fact the only mistake we had out of 21 race teams on those green flag stops was the mistake of the 18 sliding through his pit box.
Well, these are the best 21 race teams in NASCAR right now.
And they had practice last night. Right. I mean, last night they had to come on pit road after making a qualifying lap, and get down there and make that pit stop. So I think that really helped them tonight.
Coming up, 2 20-lap segments and then a 10-lap shootout to finish this off. Here is 5th place Kyle Busch. He got back one of those spots he lost on pit road, but not the other.
You know, we've got the 4 Hendrick Chevrolets, and we have 10 Chevrolets in this race. We got the 4 Hendrick Chevrolets in the top 8. A pretty dismal night for the Richard Childress Chevrolets. Right now, they are running 17th, 18th, and 19th. That's Harvick, Boyer, and Burton.
Right, they're going the opposite of that list you just saw of drivers moving to the front. This this just won't quit right here. The only way they're going to end this battle is to throw that caution flag. Side by side and about a foot apart as they exit to turn 4.
The amazing thing, though, Mike, even running side by side, they're still about 2/10 quicker than leader Jimmy Johnson right now.
Yeah, Jimmy's car just kind of comes, it looks like it picks up a lot of push right at the end of the run.
Well, it's a short run car, Darrell, and what we got next? A 20 lap, and a 10 lap segment.
Yeah, no,
and that's 20 laps since they had that green flag stop right there.
This is just like the last, it's working out just like it did last time. I think it'll be interesting, though, to see when everybody gets caught back up and make a few adjustments here and see if they can keep up with him or not.
Darrell, you got a guy on your outside like Kurt Busch right there, and you go at it side by side for 4 or 5 laps. It's got to be fun for a while, but at what point does it just get aggravating?
Well, you do get aggravated, but also think about this. You're going to be in that condition.
And then I go, as soon as I'm good for a couple laps, then I get tight.
Okay, so he's setting up for this 10-lap shootout. I'm going to be in this condition. I got to figure out what I need to do to my car to be able to make it work right when it counts. A lot of times, guys, you know, we see guys riding. You say, oh, they're just riding around. No, they're not. No. They're thinking.
We know for sure we will have 2 more cautions before we have that 10-minute break, and that's what these guys are setting up for, trying to make sure they make the right adjustments. You can still see something dragging on Ryan Newman in the 39 car. Jimmy Johnson gets by him, then that will put Ryan Newman 2 laps down.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't want to stay up too close to him. Get by him in a hurry.
I think that next caution is going to come just right, though, for Brad Keselowski, because he's not too far out in front of leader Jimmy Johnson right now.
But you know what I think that the 48 car may be trying to do is not put Ryan that other lap down. I believe he's trying to I think he's trying to, but as he looks in his mirror, he says, I can't help you out, dude.
Nope,
I got to go.
If he does.
But I'm like you, Darrell, with the left front dragging and sparks flying, I don't know if I want to sit there and ride by that 39 car too long.
Well, I just think that probably the 39 bunch is begging Jimmy Johnson not to pass him. I'm sure the spotters saying, you know, help us out, help us out.
Well, in the meanwhile, look at that 2 car and 24 car. They're going to try to get the lead from Jimmy Johnson through 3 and 4.
If Jimmy wants the bonus for leading this segment, he's got to go, and now. 50 laps comes up right here. Who's going to lead it? Johnson by half a car length.
And I really, really believe that was just trying to help that 39 bunch out. He almost cost him, but...
Now we have completed 50 laps, and there's the caution.
Well, that got entertaining right at the end.
It did. So I mean, Jimmy he'll be in the front. He was leading at the halfway mark, and Ryan didn't go that other lap down, and I just know that was
helping out. Really good job, man. Really good job.
This is doubly good for Newman because not only did he stay in front of Johnson and save a lap, now he gets the free pass because he's the only lapped car. Ryan Newman is now back on the lead lap.
So, you know, I know that was probably being orchestrated right at the end right there. It almost cost Jimmy Johnson, but it really did help out Ryan Newman.
But, you know, this is a caution. This may give that 39 team a chance to rectify the problem. Now, I think here's the scenario. We know we have 20 laps to run and we're going to get another caution. I think it's a no-brainer for most of the guys in the top 8 or 10. You know what? Come get your 4 fresh tires. But I'll almost guarantee you, Darrell, we may have some gambles at the back of maybe guys just changing 2 right side tires trying to get that track position.
I just don't know about Jimmy Johnson's car, Larry, because it seems like it really falls off at the end of these runs. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
That's okay with me, Darrell, because they're not going to have to run this far again tonight.
Right.
Hard to believe they can set that up as a 20 lap or 10 lap car and then it just goes away like it does.
A lot of it's set up, but the other part of it is air pressure. Knowing exactly what air pressure to have in that car, in those tires, to make the car handle that well that long.
All right, pit road's open. We're under the competition yellow at lap 50. Dick Berggren.
And Matt Kenseth's crew is going to put just outside tires on his car, Mike. The car is sliding the nose, and as soon as he gets on the gas, it goes tail happy, goes right out sideways. They're going to try to tighten up the back end to help Kenseth in the 17. Steve Burns.
Well, Dick, Jeff Gordon said the car is pivoting on the right front too much, which makes him very free. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. They're doing that right now. 4 tires. Matt?
Significant track bar adjustment for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. After about 10 laps, he says the car goes from free to tight. Air pressure change for the 2 of Kurt Busch. He also feels like his car way too tight that run compared to the first.
What I saw was 4 cars that went with 2 tires. The 17 of Kenseth, the 26 of McMurray, the 77 of Hornish, and Kyle Busch, the 18 car.
We've got some gamblers. Segment 1 complete. Jimmy Johnson was the leader, and after pit stops, Kyle Busch has assumed the lead. This is the first NASCAR event at Lowe's Motor Speedway since the loss of David Poole for 13 years, the auto racing writer for NASCAR's hometown paper, the Charlotte Observer. And next Thursday, Lowe's Motor Speedway will dedicate the deadline room in the Time Warner Media Center in the infield to David's memory. He was a great writer and a talented and enthusiastic talk show host, and he is missed. Getting ready for the restart. Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth on the front row, Jamie Mack, Sam Hornish, and then Jimmy Johnson will restart 5th. And folks, just a few more minutes to answer the Catch the Race, Catch the Cash question. Make sure you visit speedtv.com, keyword All-Star, or text the correct answer number 1234 to Speed 3. That's 773333 on your mobile phone. Time is almost up for question number 1, but so make sure you get that one in and stay tuned for the second question and your chance at $25,000. Lines will remain open until 2 a.m. Eastern time. Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus had an interesting exchange while riding around under caution. Here it is.
You're doing a really good job, man. Really good job. It's an intermission. Intermission. This is just a yellow flag pit stop here, bud. 10 laps to the end, right? We do 20 laps now, another caution, another 20, and then the intermission.
And here we go with the first of those 2 20-lap segments.
I think that was called messing with the crew chief.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Well, you know, they change the format every couple of years. It's easy to lose track.
I'll tell you what else he was messing with. He was messing with the back bumper of that 26 car getting off into turn 1.
Now, our top 4 guys out there, I talked about them right before break, which is pretty much Kyle Busch, Kenseth, McMurray, and Hornish Jr. 2 right side tires only, but here comes Jimmy Johnson and Mark Martin fighting Hornish for that 4th spot.
But Larry, it's just time and time again with this race car, particularly on mile-and-a-half racetracks, whomever gets out front checks out.
transfer drivers from the Showdown running 3rd, McMurray, 5th, Cornish, and 10th, Logano.
Make that 4th on the 26.
Okay.
The 48 just zoomed by him. Man, that 48 car, holy smoly.
I'll be anxious to see how he does on this 20-lap run.
He's making my neck hurt going through those corners that fast. He has got some grip in that car for about 20 laps.
You know, even with getting past for 3rd, McMurray in the 26 car just ran his fastest lap of the race.
How about Matt Kenseth holding station in 2nd place after that 2-tire change?
Well, I just watch these guys. They go into the corner. They kind of float them in there. Not real hard, but boy, do they pick the throttle up. Everybody does. Way early in the corner, and man, they come off the turn with so much speed.
And Jimmy Johnson in that 48 did that exactly down in 3 and 4 that time. Watch him down in 1 and 2. I would say he's going to go to the bottom because Kenseth in the 17 takes the high route.
And of course, that just it didn't work so good off turn 2. That will work down here on the other end if he can get back to him.
And behind them, the kid, 50-year-old Mark Martin, has moved up to 4th.
Did I tell you he's the hottest driver on the circuit?
Right now.
Ran his first race in 1981. And here he is tonight, 50 years old and driving like a kid.
C4 about Joe Gino, that's 5 on your tires.
Yeah, that kid leading the race right now wasn't even thought about when Mark Martin ran his first race. I'm not even sure Kyle Busch's mom and dad was married yet.
You know, if we're calling Mark Martin at 50 a kid, what are we going to call 18-year-old Joey Logano?
Don't make me go there.
Call him Rook for now.
Here's a battle for 6 between Jeff Gordon and the 24 car. Gordon, like his teammate Jimmy Johnson, they went with 4 fresh tires.
Tony Stewart just put 2 in the grass to get alongside Logano coming out of turn 4 and through the quad oval. That was a bold move, number 14.
I think he was motivated to get by that 20 car. You watch him here. He gets a great run off the corner, and he just cuts to the bottom right here. Like you said, he didn't get in the grass. He got mighty close.
You know, we're approaching halfway of this next segment, and Kenseth in that 17 car is slowly but surely working on that 18 car of Kyle Busch.
But Kyle just changed his line there. He just used that high line off of turn 2 and really pulled away from Kenseth.
And that's what his spotter just told him.
Yep. Got to run that top off of 2, and you'll pull away.
There we go. Come on.
And Jimmy Johnson is no longer closing in on that front duo.
But Mark Martin is closing in on him in that 5.
I'm sure if you could listen to Jimmy Johnson, he'd say, you know, I'm not that good back in traffic.
You know, of our 4 cars that changed just 2 right side tires, all of them are still in the top 7, including these 2 right here of Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth.
Larry, I just don't know if you need to change any tires or not. I mean, I just know watching that truck race last night, they went 100 miles on tires.
Next time around, we're halfway through this second segment. Busch leading Matt Kenseth. Kyle Busch still the leader. Time for another racing question from Ask.com. How do drivers qualify for the All-Star race? If you want the answer, go to Ask.com, where NASCAR fans go to get answers. Ask.com, official search engine of NASCAR. A lap ago, Matt Kenseth got into turn 1 side by side with Kyle Busch, but could not complete the pass because Busch just had such a good launch off turn number 2.
Yeah, he gets a good run off of turn 4 down here, which gets him in a position to get under Kyle going into turn 1. But man, when you sail it in there and then you get back up in that high right about there, he's back wide open. Watch this thing come up off the corner.
But look up there at the top, that's live, and Kenseth got a good run around the bottom that time, but he just can't quite complete the pass.
Well, I know I've said this, but you can run 3 and 4 low on the bottom and make good time, but you just can't do it in turn 1 and 2. Matt, what are they saying about on the 18?
DW, Kyle just told Steve Addington, the good news, we're much better this run. The only problem I have is the fact that the car is a little bit too tight, especially when I'm up top. Not tight and loose like the previous run.
Well, Matt Kenseth's got 3 laps left in this segment to get it done.
And I know we've got 33 laps to go, and a lot can happen, especially in those last 10 laps. Kyle Busch has run 3 All-Star races. He's never finished an All-Star race. 2 accidents and the engine failure last week, or last year.
Well, I think that he was the guy that we use as an example a couple of years ago, checkers or wreckers. I think he was the example we used.
Yes,
and
sir.
He just that kind of guy.
With his brother.
Yes, sir. This is his kind of race.
All right, Kenseth in second, Jimmy Johnson, who led the first segment, in third, and here's Mark Martin in fourth, Steve.
And Mike, his car has been consistent all night. Starts loose, neutralizes, then gets a little bit tight. That's the way it is right now. They haven't made any changes to that car for Mark Martin.
Now, Darrell, here's the box that I think that Kyle Busch in the 18 and Matt Kenseth in the 17 is in, as well as Hornish and McMurray. You and I were talking at one of the breaks. I would have liked to have went with 4 tires on that last caution and do the 2 this time. And I almost think that the 18 and the 17 are going to be forced to go with 2 again. Are they going to give up too much track position? Because I think we'll have a lot more guys go with just right sides under this caution.
Yeah, I think they were convinced, Larry, that that was going to work for them. If they take 2 now, they're going to take 2 again, because there's no way they can sit there and take 4 this time.
All right, caution flag after this lap as Tony Stewart battles Sam Hornish for 8th place. Kyle Busch wins the second segment over Matt Kenseth. With Jimmy Johnson third, and Johnson the fastest car on the racetrack as we cross through lap 70. Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, McMurray, Kurt Busch, Hornish, Stewart, and Edwards, the top 10.
So those 4 cars, as I mentioned earlier, that went with just right sides, all 4 stayed in the top 10 pretty handily.
This is the 4th time that Kyle Busch has won a segment of the All-Star race, and as you mentioned, he's never been around at the finish.
Was Ric Flair driving one of those cars?
Sounded like it.
I think he worked pretty hard that segment there.
I think he did too. He had his hands full, I know that.
In NASCAR's top 3 series, Kyle Busch has 25 starts, 2 poles, 6 wins, 12 top 5s, 15 top 10s.
That's all at Lowe's, right?
Yes, 4 nationwide series wins and 3 Camping World Truck Series wins. Joey Logano, you saw there, drop back to 15th at the end of this segment, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. sounded like they made the car better after the first stop, but he finishes up here after segment 2 in 14th place.
We have all 21 cars on the lead lap. One thing we did not mention, we did have 1 penalty under that last caution. Greg Biffle was too fast entering, had to start that segment at the tail end.
Yeah, and he ended up 17th in that segment, so that really hurt him.
So all 21 cars are running, and all 21 are still on the lead lap. You can read their positions across the crawl at the top of the screen. And now, let's see who the gamblers are, if any.
I guarantee you there'll be more gamblers this time than there was the last time. In fact, we got some of them that are staying out.
The big fake job by Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth.
And Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, McMurray, Stewart, Burton, Biffle.
Long way down for Jimmy Johnson. Here he comes to Matt.
And Kyle Busch's team said the track position was more important. They stayed out. Meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson, they felt like they needed to pit to make at least an air pressure change. 4 tires for Johnson, as a host of other cars will beat him off pit road. They go 4 here in the 48.
Wow, a tire got away from Denny Hamlin's crew and rolled out into pit road.
They got it back.
But they did bring it back. We'll see how NASCAR rules that one.
But Larry, that 48 car, he's got to have 4 tires. That's just what I saw in the first segments. He was really good on 4 tires. I think he's got to take 4.
A long stop for Clint Boyer and trouble on Ryan Newman. The hood is up on his U.S. Army ship.
Yeah, they're trying to fix whatever's wrong on the left front of the 39 car.
So we're under caution with 2 segments to go. Under caution, we're in turn 2, going to go green this time by. A look from our aerial camera. To me, it appears that Matt Kenseth never, the 17, second car there, never had any intention of coming to pit road. Kyle, I'm not too sure.
No, I think the 17 said, I hope he does go down pit road. But I think it's going to work out better for him because the 18 didn't. He's going to restart on the outside. He's been all over the back of that 18 car. He might get that run off of turn 2, get the lead.
Kyle Busch made that call totally on his own right there, I believe, when he looked in that rearview mirror and saw that, because actually the top 8 cars that are out there right now stayed out.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson still has questions about the format of this race.
On 10 laps or another 20?
Another 20 laps. You got 20 more laps, and then we'll have a break.
We're all sorted out before too long.
Well, I know one thing. If he doesn't quit going into pits, he's going to be dead last for long.
Well, he restarts 12th, but remember, in this format, that's 6th row outside.
That's still way deep for a 20-lap run here. He does have 4 tires, but I don't know if that's going to help that much or not. I thought he had the perfect setup, but he's mired back into traffic now.
So it's Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, Greg Biffle, Jeff Burton, Hornish and Edwards, the top 10.
I think Kyle Busch knew that he better not let the door open for that 17 car based on the way Matt kept running him down there. Mark Martin's right up beside Kenseth going off into turn 3.
Tony Stewart's going to come out of this first lap in 6th.
Oh, Johnson got in the wall hard. He just killed the right side of his car.
Yep, pancaked it.
Now this old car, sometimes it makes them better.
Sideways
no.
Into Greg Biffle, and that will put us under caution.
Yeah. I think it.
Might have some right front fender damage.
Now, caution laps will count during this segment here.
Right.
Let's watch the 48 come off turn 4 here, Mike, because he gets it pretty hard. It's up high, making good time right here, but 16 scrapes the wall right there.
That was a pretty hard lick by that 48 car.
Yeah, the car jumped up in the air. Fortunately, he doesn't have any tire rubbed up. Yeah, well, he's got a little bit, Larry. But then down here, Sam just loses it, and there's somebody on his outside.
Greg Biffle, Greg 16, Biffle. Yep. Boy, look at Logano on that 20. Just squeaked by as Hornish was coming down the racetrack. And Greg Biffle will take his car to the garage area.
Yeah, it got pretty serious damage, Greg did.
Greg was just a victim.
Right there. That's hard lick.
Now, that's 2 of the 8 cars that stayed out under that last caution, the 77 to 16.
Let's watch from Dale Jr. And from Joey Logano.
That ought to be a good look. Ooh, 77 was coming down the hill.
He was. It's a good thing Joey didn't slow down anymore.
So this is the first real caution flag, if you will, of the night. Matt, how about the damage on Jimmy's car?
Jimmy reported it to the team that he kissed the wall a little harder than he thought he probably did, and both spotter and crew chief looked it over, said does not look bad at all. In fact, Chad Knaus added, after what we saw cars do last week at Darlington, that's nothing.
Well, I agree, and I'm not real sure when he gets up to speed if he's going to have a tire rub or not. I don't think he does, and actually the body doesn't look that bad.
Here is Boyer, Newman, Keselowski, and Hornish on pit road. No one has gone to the garage except Greg Biffle. So 20 cars on the racetrack, all on the lead lap. And a lot of that fresh Sprint yellow paint that's been used on the walls all around Lowe's Motor Speedway just for this weekend ended up along the right side of Greg Biffle's car.
I like these yellow walls. I think it's pretty cool looking.
You know, the amazing thing with Jimmy Johnson, Mike, even those few laps, remember he restarted 12th. He's up to 7th right now in that 48 car.
Oh, yeah. He was going on those 4 tires.
Here's another racing question from Ask.com, the official search engine of NASCAR.
Who has won the most all-star races? If you want the answer now, go to ask.com, where NASCAR fans go to get answers. Ask.com, official search engine of NASCAR. Steve.
And Mike, Greg Biffle's just out of the race car. Greg, I heard you say earlier that your car was really loose. Talk about what happened with the 77.
Yeah, he just, you know, everybody's trying really hard tonight, and the 77 just drove in there probably a little bit too hard. Trying to get a little bit too much on that restart. Just got loose underneath me. I saw him moving up. I moved up the racetrack quite a ways, but I guess he couldn't keep it down, or I didn't, you know, he couldn't save it. So you just got to get these cars really loose to be able to turn. And he was just a little too loose, I guess, took us out.
Greg, you guys done?
Yeah, we're done. I mean, it only pays to win here. And, you know, we were sitting in a great spot, but coming from the back with, you know, 15 laps and then a 10-lap shootout, you know, with a tore-up car, we just don't stand a chance of getting up there to the front.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks.
Biffle's team will bank $75,000 more or less for 21st place.
And we've got 26 laps to go. We know we've got one more break coming, a 10-minute break, but we do also know that we have weather to the west of us. So that's one reason these guys are up on the wheel right now.
That and $1 million.
Well, yeah. Speaking of west, let's go west to Michigan International Speedway in June, where Sprint Cup tickets start at $40 and kids 12 and under are free.
Hey, Mike, real quickly, I want to congratulate my daughter, Jessica Lee Waltrip. She made the Dean's List at Belmont this semester, and she is so excited about it, and I just want to congratulate her. It was a cool deal.
Absolutely.
Little homeschool girl, did good.
Want to take a moment to send condolences to Dave Marcus and his family. The longtime Sprint Cup campaigner lost his father, Tony, at age 92 this week. Dave, just wanted to know we're thinking of you and your family.
Once again, we have that double file restart. It really seems to make things exciting on these restarts.
It does, Larry, but it makes it exciting for all the right people.
Exactly.
You don't have a bunch of lap cars down under you, you know, trying to get a lap back or a lucky dog or any of that. You got people that are racing each other.
I love it.
I love it.
I wish with the free pass rule we have now that this is what we could have every single race.
We should. We say that. I think we say that every time we come over here, but it's the only time we use it.
Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart. Those are the top half dozen. 5 laps to go. Excuse me, 15 to go in this segment. 15 to go.
15 to go. Boy, Matt didn't get much of a restart there.
And I think Jeff Gordon in that 24 car is going to take advantage.
Mark just got bad loose right there. Almost lost that car. He's fortunate.
He had the whole field coming at him.
Here comes Hamlin on the bottom.
There just happened to be a hole there for Larry. Otherwise, that would have been big.
Burton up top. Here comes Junior. You're riding with him as he moves even with Jeff Burton.
Yeah, Mark Martin is going to go from 4th to really and truly just all but outside the top 10 with what happened down there in 1 and 2.
A little gaggle right here. Nothing serious yet.
Mark back to 8th. If Hamlin can hang on to 7th, nope.
Tell you what, that 11 car for the first time tonight is starting to make a little bit of noise. Denny Hamlin, they tore a transmission up qualifying, had to start the race at the rear of the field up to 8th.
Yeah, he's been hanging around about the 12th, 15th spot. This is the first time he's been that close to the front, but I think that's what we're going to see as this thing winds down.
Joe Gibbs Racing 1st, 8th, and 14th. With Busch, Hamlin, and Logano.
Just remember, Larry, you don't want to do anything dumb until you get to the 10 laps. Then everybody does stuff that's dumb.
Kevin Harvick riding with the Pennzoil car. Logano just ahead. Newman on the outside.
You have to restrain yourself to not do anything real dumb until the last lap.
I know Jimmy Johnson slapped that wall pretty hard a few laps ago, but he has now cracked the top 5 up to 5th. But this cat we're riding with here, Tony Stewart in the 14, his car just flies through the middle of the corner, especially down here in turn 3 and 4.
Well, I just like to look at the lap times, and right now there's nobody got anything for Kyle. He's a good 1/10 and a half, 2/10 quicker than Jeff Gordon and most everybody else. Whoa, another car slammed into the wall as the 31 of Burton.
Yeah, he was sliding backwards big time throughout this entire last lap.
Boy, it has just not been a good night for Richard Childress Racing. They are 16th, 17th, and now 20th.
They're racing amongst themselves. The problem is they're racing amongst themselves at the back.
Wrong end of the field.
It could be a night, Darrell, like we saw last year for Joe Gibbs Racing. A lot of experimentation. Last year, the Gibbs cars all blew up. This year, the Childress cars just will not run with the front of the pack. Who knows what they're trying?
And Mike, you know, and Larry does too. If you had to say who's the guy that this race most suits, it's the guy leading right now.
Yeah.
Based on the way that 31 car just sounded when it came by, I think there may be possible experimental engine has went sour on him. But I'm going to tell you what.
Something just happened, Larry, to the 18.
Yeah, because look, here comes that 24 car all over the side. Jeff Gordon wants to lead to this thing.
Something's wrong with the 18. He just going down the back just then. Something happened. See if it's running clean or not. I think that's the engine we're listening to.
Forget about the top up here.
Just the RPM looks good.
Yeah, it looks. I don't know if he just lost it off of 2 or something all of a sudden just happened to that race car.
That is the first green flag lead change of the night. And Big Daddy, Jeff Gordon, has gone to the front in his DuPont Chevy.
Did you see Mark Martin? He came off turn 4. He was sideways, man. I tell you, he's got his hand full of his ride.
Hamlin moving ever closer to the front. Takes Mark for 7th, and here comes Junior.
This is the kind of race when it's all over with, you say, where did he come from?
Right.
Speaking of where did he come from, how about Ryan Newman in that 39 car got the free pass? He's back in the top 10 with that Army car.
Now, Jeff,
oh man, Mark got in the wall that time.
Yes,
big time. He's had something's happened to him.
Jeff Burton believes he has a plug wire off, but continues to run on the racetrack. Whatever's happened, he's lost the fire in one cylinder.
Whatever's happened to that 18 car, he's about got his hands full of Matt Kenseth in the 17. Kenseth to the bottom. This is a battle for second. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon pulling away with about 6 laps to go in this segment 3.
Yeah, Larry, I'm not sure what happened, but something happened to the 18 car, and all of a sudden Jeff Gordon just pounced on him and drove away, and now he's got getting passed by Matt Kenseth here.
Well, this right now, this is where you've got to get your track position to be set up for the 10-lap shootout.
You know, it could be tires, could just be a lot of things. Don't know at this point. I don't think it's nothing wrong with the engine. Apparently, it seemed to be running okay.
But this is big right here. Do you want to start that 10-lap segment on the outside of row 1 or on the inside of row 2?
I'm not sure that Kyle Busch ever thinks that way. I think he just thinks about somebody's trying to pass me and I don't want them to.
While those guys are going side by side, that 2 car of Kurt Busch is drawing in closer and closer. But just remember, the 18 and the 17, they have not been to pit road in a while, and their left side tires, they have been on there since lap 50.
Yeah, I think that's what's wrong with the 18. I think he's just run the tires off of it because he was driving really hard.
But the great thing about those 10 laps at the end, everybody will have 4 fresh tires.
And Larry, the 24 car, once he got out front, he picked up 5/10 of second place. Once he got out front.
Look who's 4th coming right into the picture. Let those 2 fellas battle side by side as long as you want, and then here comes Kurt Busch.
Yeah, I think they've just run the tires off of those the 17 and 18. I think that's what's happened to them.
Jeff Burton has gone to the garage with engine trouble. He joins Greg Biffle there, who crashed out of the race.
This is a battle right inside the top 10, a battle for 10th between Mark Martin in the 5 and Jamie McMurray in the 26. Just talked about Kurt Busch. There's the battle for 3rd, Mike.
Boy, there's a little shrub and big shrub going after each other.
Matt?
Well, his dad, Tom, is going to want to know what's wrong with the 18 car. His younger son, and Kyle just told Steve Addington, the car is just way too tight now in the center, but is concerned if they fix that, like Larry Mack has talked so many times, you may just shuffle one problem from one part of the corner to the exit. He's worried now it may be too free on exit if they fix the tight in the center.
Well, Matt, what he needs to do is just try to hang on for another lap and a half. He's got a pretty good cushion to the car back there, so if he can just hang on and finish 4th, then they can get 4 fresh tires on that car.
Yeah, I think that's all he needs, Larry. I think he's good. I don't think the car, I think he just run the tires off of it.
One more time around the park, and we'll get set for the 10-lap shootout.
That's the biggest lead I've seen anybody have. Look at Jeff Gordon going down the back. He's got almost the length of the back straightaway over second place. Once he got out front, it was adios.
This will be the 6th segment win for Jeff Gordon, not including his 3 All-Star finale wins. Ka-ching, $125,000.
Not a bad payday for 20 laps.
No. Matt Kenseth second, Kurt and Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson. Johnson came from 12th to 5th in 20 laps.
And hit the wall in between.
Yeah, Tony Stewart 6th.
Caution's out.
Denny Hamlin, Dale Jr., Ryan Newman, Jamie Mack, the top 10.
Oh boy. Now we get down to the show for the dough.
Time for our second catch the cash. No, catch the race, then catch the cash question of the night. Segment 4 is the final shootout. How many laps is it? You must know the answer by now, and I'm sorry, Jimmy Johnson, you're not allowed to enter and you're not allowed to help. So fill out the form at speedtv.com, keyword all-star, choose the correct answer, or text the correct answer, number 1, 2, 3, or 4, to speed3 773333 on your mobile phone. If you answer both of your questions right tonight, you could win the grand prize, $25,000 of cold hard cash. We'll pay the taxes. You got till 2 a.m. So start dialing.
Hey, Mike,
get online.
They're always putting information on the driver's dash. Maybe next year they need to put that many segments on Jimmy Johnson's dash.
But you know what, Darrell? With 10 laps to go, the man you drove for when you won this race in 1985, old Junior Johnson, here's where he'd tell you, Darrell, you want to win $1 million or you want to win 200,000?
Didn't leave you many options, did it? And the other thing he'd say is, boy, don't you lay down on me.
Here they come down pit road.
Let's get a hot dog, right?
Oh, hot dog segment's over.
Oh, that's over with.
Here we go, Dick Berggren.
Well, Matt Kenseth wants more than a hot dog. He wants a pair of new bump stops on the front of the car, which of course they can't change under this pit stop. The car's bump stops appear to have worn out, according to the driver. And he said what's happening is as he goes into the corner, this splitter is dragging along the racetrack and it's causing him to not be able to use the throttle and not be able to have the kind of speed that he would like. It's really not something they can fix, Steve.
Oh, 18 missed his pit stalls. Let's go back to Steve.
Thank you, Mike. Just a moment ago, Jeff Gordon told Steve Letarte, I cannot be loose when I get on the gas when this last segment starts. Steve Letarte said 10-4, we got a plan.
And it just, you know, on the bump stops on Matt Kenseth, what that is, when the car travels, it's just some stops on the shock absorbers that lets it keep from traveling too much. It sounds like because that splitter's starting to hit there, that splitter right there, that now he can tell that basically the bump stops, they've given up a little bit.
Now, when this break is over, the cars will leave pit road in the same order in which they entered. You do not lose any positions pitting under this caution. Matt?
And the 18, Mike, you mentioned he missed his pit stall. The reason being almost a collision between himself and the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy was on the inside. That's why Kyle just stopped and the crew backed him up. Right now, Steve Addington and Kyle are going to talk about exactly their game plan for this final 10 laps. But his biggest complaint at that point, the car was just way too tight that last run. But like Larry Mack documented, he had those old tires.
That would have been bad to have crashed on pit road coming in there and you've got 10 minutes to work on your car.
When it doesn't mean anything. It tells you how crazy pit road is.
Dick Berggren?
With Dale Earnhardt Jr. How's the car? What do they got to do to get you up front?
Well, it's tight. They need to make it turn a little bit better. I don't know, we're going to probably try to change some camber in the right front because it hooks in on the first 2 laps and then it pushes in the center, so maybe it's got too much camber. But, you know, I'd rather be sure that that's what we need to do. We're not really sure if that's what it's going to fix it, and that's the frustrating part. But the car was getting a little bit better, but not enough. We need to work on it and get it turning quite a bit better, but we've improved on it.
Kind of nice to have a hot dog break when you're hot as you look to be.
No, I'm ready to keep going, man. You know, I'm ready to run another 10, 50, whatever.
Okay, good luck to you. Thanks.
Dale Jr. is in 8th place.
It's hot. You know, it's really hot out there tonight. You see all the drivers are really working hard. They're all sweating a lot and all getting some fluids right now.
Very humid with the storms that have moved through, and it's been very muggy here the last 2 days.
Now that camber that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is talking about, it's part of the front end setting, and it really coincides with how much the car is traveling. And the more camber you put in the right front will help it turn, but if you start traveling the car so much, he talked about making it hook into quick getting in the corner.
Yeah, to fix it and fix it right, need to change the A-frame probably, but they can't do that.
Let's go down to Matt with Kyle Busch.
And catching up with the driver, the 18. The hot dog segment's over, the big money segment's here, and a reminder, you've got $1 million on the dash. How big of a change do you need to make to this car for the final segment?
We're not as good as we need to be. We've got some ideas for the 600 for next week that we need to work on. We're not as good as the 24 or the 48. The 2's really good too. The 17's about like us, but he can turn a little bit better. So, you know, with what we want to change, I can't change out here on pit road. So we'll just have to see what we can get out of this M&M's Camry and see if we can't steal one out of here in 10 laps and, you know, take the money, kiss the girls, and go home.
And he does have that $1 million dash he can look at every lap. Steve?
And Matt, Jeff Gordon talking to the guys on the crew here. He's a 3-time champion of this event. And Jeff, I heard you say when the caution came out, Steve Letarte, I can't be loose when this race restarts. How do you line them up here?
Well, we do have to make a few adjustments for this short run. We were really strong on the long runs. I mean, we got an awesome race car. We definitely have a DuPont Chevrolet that can win this race. And I'm really excited to be, you know, in it and be on the pole for this last segment. But it's going to be wild, man. You gotta be wide open for at least those first 2 or 3 laps, you know, or at least through one, and be able to really get after it early in order to, especially that 17 looks good early, 48's good early, a couple other cars, 18. So we're going to get after it. We'll see what happens.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All 4 makes represented in the top 5. 19 cars on the lead lap, and the big question is, who will bank the $1 million?
It's the intermission of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race at Lowe's Motor Speedway, and if you stepped away from your television at all, don't you dare do it again. We'll get you caught up with what's happened so far. Jimmie Johnson on the pole and sitting pretty. He would lead all laps of the first segment. But Jeff, then it became all about track position.
Track position, the 18 car Kyle Busch, they took 2 tires to get that position. They won the second segment. They gave a little head fake for the rest of the field in the third segment. No tires. He and Steve Addington gambled.
Okay, and now we have some contact. This is segment 3. That's Sam Hornish, who won the showdown. Greg Biffle hard into the wall. Biffle and Burton out of the race. And segment 3 belonged to Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon, the winner of segment number 3. That means he won $125,000. And more importantly, he is on the pole. And we only have 10 laps to go.
Only 10 laps. And most of the time you tell these guys, give and take on the track. But right now, Krista, it's take time.
No charity out there anymore.
Baby. Get all you can get. There's no tomorrow.
All right, let's hear from one of our drivers, Matt Yoakum, standing by.
And one car very strong in the race. The final 10-lap shootout. It's finally here. How big of a change are you making to your car? And what was your biggest issue you felt like during the last segment, Jimmy?
You know, just get tight so fast. That was our issue. If I can get in that first, get a couple guys here at the beginning, I think we got a shot at it. But track position is really more important than anything. To see guys that can stay out on 2 tires and hang on that long really shows the importance of track position. I did all I could after that stop to get up to the front. I got in the wall a little bit, but got a bunch of spots. And, you know, I'm going to go for it when that brag drops, and we'll see what we can get.
All right. Good luck, Jimmy.
Jimmie Johnson was pretty calm when he was in with us on our pre-race. I bet he's probably shaking a little bit now. 10 laps to go.
Well, you can see both all these owners right here. You take a look, Cat in the Hat, Jack Roush. They know that the final adjustments have been made in this 10-minute break to get these cars right. But the key thing, again, Jimmie Johnson talks about track position. Jeff Gordon is definitely in the catbird seat. If he can get a good start right here, he might be able to hang on and wind up walking away with $1 million.
Yeah, Jimmie Johnson, a 2-time All-Star winner. Jeff Gordon, a 3-time All-Star winner, trying to make history, becoming the only 4-time winner. The dash for cash, 10 laps is all that's left. Don't move because we are about to get fired up.
10 laps to go in Speed's presentation of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, brought to you by Sprint. For more Sprint Cup Series, go to sprint.com/speed. By AutoZone, because do-it-yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And by NASCAR banking only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at Bank of America Banking Center.
Let's go all-star racing, boys! I'm going to take a shot at you on this restart here. Well, why is he racing me so hard? Let's go race for $1 million. What do you think?
Woo!
Yeah! It's harder to do than it is to say. It's a nice lap right there. Yeah, we're finished.
It's all come down to this. 10 laps for $1 million. Jimmy Johnson led the first segment. Kyle Busch all of the second. Jeff Gordon took the lead halfway through segment 3. One race caution when Sam Hornish tipped Greg Biffle into the wall. And we're ready to go to finish it off.
Mike, this is $1 million restart right here. Got to get it right. Because the guy that comes out of that second turn with the lead, he's the rabbit that the rest of them are going to be chasing.
Well, I think you heard Jimmy Johnson say, I got to get a couple, and I got to get them early if I want a shot at this thing.
Yeah, and I just don't like where he is. He's pinned down on the inside there. That's going to be hard.
He's 5th. 10 green flag laps.
Look at that. Kyle Busch tried to time it. Matt Kenseth slammed the door on him.
But that hurt Matt so badly. He lost his momentum, and Kyle's trying him again out there.
Well, he did it earlier on the first start of the race. He passed cars going 3 wide.
There's 3 wide over there off
He's going to do it.
He's going to make it.
And Jimmy gets turned.
Oh, no, Jimmy's around.
Caution is out.
And nobody hits him.
These guys are still going at it over there.
Turn 4, 3 wide, and they're finally getting slowed down without contact. Okay, a little contact.
All right, boys, better take care of those front fenders.
Yeah, come on, Matt. I mean, he didn't do it. Kyle did nothing wrong. He just using up the whole racetrack. And he caught Matt right here a little bit sleeping on the restart.
Let's see what our aerial view shows of this 3 wide battle.
Now watch it. Watch this. I mean, the 18 gets back in the gas right here, and he comes on the outside like he was shot out of a cannon. And the 11 car got into the back of 48, spun him around.
But I think the 48 had to check up because it was starting to stack up.
Maybe a little bit.
I think on the initial start of the race, we saw Kyle Busch make this very move. 3 wide around the outside, gain as many spots as he could.
Well, how did he win Richmond? I mean, every restart, he passed cars up against the wall on the outside.
Let's show you the restart again. Now, we did not complete a lap, and remember, only green flag laps count.
See, the 17 is not expecting Kyle Busch to jump out there like that.
Wow.
He slams the door on him, which I don't blame him. I'd do the same thing, but he should never let him out there in the first place.
But what Kyle Busch was doing is perfectly
legal. It was great.
As soon as the flag waves, you can pass to the right legally. You don't have to wait till you pass the start-finish line. However, we're now being told by NASCAR that because of the double file restart rule, you must stay in line until the start-finish line, just like the initial start of a race. So that's a new wrinkle for the All-Star race with the double file restart.
You know what I love coming over here for this race, because I always learn something. Every time it's always something I never knew before. That's just different.
Kevin Harvick has had a rough night, and it looks like he has maybe a tire rub.
Mike, one thing we need to explain is because we did not complete a lap, they will go back and restart like we started the lap before. Doesn't matter what happened on that lap right there.
Again, just like Saturday night short track racing. You restart, you don't complete a lap, everybody gets back in line the way they were.
Well, you know what I bet Kyle Busch does this time? I bet he goes underneath the 17 this time. He'll surprise him somehow.
Now, of course, cars that pit during this caution will have to restart tail end.
Yeah, Jimmy had, I think he had a couple of flat tires when he spun down the back.
Yes, that is confirmed that those guys that pitted, like Kevin Harvick, like Jimmy Johnson, will go to the back of the field.
Dick?
Well, Matt Kenseth's crew may have found the Band-Aid that are going to solve the problem of the nose of that car bouncing off the racetrack. They didn't change the bump stops, but they shimmed them.
Which is part of something that teams will do on a pit stop.
Something else I saw them do, Larry, which is going to make that car a little quicker. They put tape on the grill. They taped up the grill, they shimmed up the front end, They're going out there and try to win $1 million.
Well, you know what? If they taped up the front end, they better put shims in it because it's going to travel more.
There you go. He's taping her up right there. Doesn't take much.
Well, it's getting cooler, and of course that's going to help it run faster down the straightaways and help that car to turn through the corners.
I wouldn't care if it's going to run 290 degrees. It'll just run faster. We got to do it for 10 laps.
$1 million to pay for it, right?
That's right. We'll buy a new motor. You know what? I'm having a flashback here to 1995. The last time a 24 and a 17 started on the front row side by side.
It got ugly.
It wasn't a 2-car, it was a 3-car.
Yeah.
And we met down here in the middle of 3 and 4, and it didn't turn out so good for the 17 and the 3 at the time.
I am so glad, though, they brought back this 10-lap shootout at the end. And I don't know of a driver out there that wasn't happy about it.
Still 10 laps to go.
And we may be doing this for a while. I don't know if we can get a lap under our belt here for a while. Come on, folks, get up on your feet. This is going to be big.
You know what? We have got us a crowd here tonight.
It's a great crowd, man. I'd pay to see this.
So Gordon and Kenseth, the Busch brothers, Stewart and Hamlin, former teammates, Earnhardt Jr. and Newman, McMurray and Martin are the top 10. 19 cars, they're all in the lead lap. Pace car dives in. Here we go.
And somebody said, where would you like to be? And I ain't got no idea. Much better restart. There goes
Kyle Busch is going to try to make it 3 wide in the middle, and I think he's going to make it work.
I told you he would go inside of the 17.
And he's going to get the run on the high side. He'll get the lead down the back straightaway.
Come on.
That was awesome.
Adios, boys. He got him a set of goodbyes on his car.
Wild Thing makes the move up the middle.
I knew he would.
Wow.
He's a restart. He is a restart.
If I can't get him on the high side, I'll get him through the middle.
I knew he'd do that.
Jeff Gordon goes after him.
Now he's going to have his hands full with that 24 car.
And here comes Stewart. Tony Stewart wants a piece of this.
Whoa, the 17 almost lost it getting into one that time.
And he looks like he's going to lose some spots because of it.
Looked like that little shim job wasn't quite enough.
And Ryan Newman, who at one point was nearly 2 laps down.
Uh-oh, look out, boys, got to fight for the lead here.
Here comes Gordon on the bottom, the 24 car. They're side by side. 8 to go.
Drag race, 24. He's out there.
Look at the run that 39 car got. I mean, he ran up on him some hard. He had to jump out of the gas 3 wide in 2.
Oh, boy, here we go. This is going to be tight right here.
But they make it, and Stewart closes right up.
Oh, and a nice little bump draft down the back at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
You
Way
didn't
to go.
see that in Sepp in the All-Star race. Newman all the way up against the wall. There's still 3 wide.
He's got him. He's got him. Oh, there we go.
Keep your foot in it.
Keep your foot in it.
Still
Keep your
going.
foot in it. Ah!
Pow.
How'd they go to all missing?
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Hey, can we say it?
Give us a chance.
Have you ever?
No, I have
never. They are using every inch of this racetrack.
Wow.
Man, did you see that 39?
Where did he come from?
Oh, and by the way, he's leading the race now.
Man, he was 2 laps down almost.
Hey, Kyle Busch proved you could go outside 3 wide,
Wow.
you could go up the middle 3 wide, so everybody else said, I want to try this.
I mean, it looked like Newman cut on the afterburners
But I'm
coming
gonna
down the
tell you,
front straight.
I think it's the yellow wall. I think you can get a lot closer to this yellow wall because you can see it better.
They sure got close. Jeff Gordon. Off goes the helmet. He thought he could win it.
I thought he could win it there for a little bit, but this is not a big surprise. I mean, this is what the All-Star race has produced. This kind of action, this kind of wrecked cars, blown motors, tempers. Doesn't matter what format they use.
You are the leader.
I want you to take a look at this right here.
This is amazing. Ryan right here, he's pushing the 18 down the back. That clears the 24. But watch what he does when he gets down here. I mean, look how close There's not even room for a shadow on the wall.
And it's like they just all ran together. They ran into the funnel coming off turn 4.
Jeff Gordon's fortunate he didn't get rammed into right there.
Because there were a lot of cars coming at him, and I don't think a lot of them knew which direction he was going to end up.
What are we hearing?
Now remember, we go back to the last scoring loop that the cars have passed before the instant of caution. And we'll have to check and see if Kyle Busch or Ryan Newman is the leader at that point. They're bringing all the cars. And now, to get the leader, we're being told that instead of using the loop data, because only green flag laps count, what do you do at the local short track when you have a caution? You go back to the last completed green flag lap to set the running order.
2 outside.
That'll put Kyle Busch back up front.
Well, you know what? Kyle's got quite a bit of damage to his right front, but Newman, on the other hand, his whole right side has got a lot of damage because he had a lot of contact. So those two cars have got a lot of damage on the right side. Watch right there. Cal gets a lot of right front damage, and certainly Ryan got into the wall hard.
Now, if there's any doubt that these are the best drivers in America, watch how all of them miss Jeff Gordon as he comes up, bounces off the wall, and back across the racetrack.
Very, very fortunate, but also very, very good driving on everybody's part.
It was right in front of his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. that just got by in that 88 car.
And I'll tell you, the 24 car, you don't see him on the hook very often.
No. Nope.
I'm not sure that 39 car's got a tire on it that hadn't been rubbed on.
Yeah.
Look at his left rear. Right side's all torn up. The 18's in the same shape. I think Kentz's car is pretty clean.
But Ryan Newman, talk about Army strong. Not only did he come back from being nearly 2 laps down, but he also overcame a pit road speeding penalty, and he's the second place car as they run down pit road. Now the pits are closed, cannot stop.
That car's a mess.
Looks like it's been in a war.
He looks just about as bad as yours.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's true. Steve?
Mike, listen, I'm not going to exaggerate. It wasn't that long ago that Ryan Newman, Tony Gibson, Bobby Hutchins were contemplating parking that race car because they were hitting the racetrack so hard. They came in, changed a left front shock, and that's confirmed. And just now, when they came down pit road, they told Ryan, car looks all right. Also, his dad, Greg Newman, said they're going to post the 18 car in front of you, and Ryan said, I don't care.
Hey, he'll start on the outside now.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go to, you know, right now, if you just say finish second, he's going to make $225,000.
Right.
I mean, just in a car he was going to park almost 2 laps down.
If Ryan Newman wins the $1 million, he'd better share a big chunk of it with Jimmy Johnson, because it was Johnson who didn't put him 2 laps down before that segment ended that allowed Ryan to come around with the lap where he was in front of the leader and then get the free pass and suddenly be back on the lead lap.
I agree, Mike. One other thing real quickly there. The other thing he did was when they worked on the car, he looked like he was going to go a lap down in the pits, and he sped down pit road to stay ahead of the pace car. Had to start at the back, but he didn't lose a lap.
But we know he's got that Hendrick engine in there, and Darrell, you talked to Rick Hendrick. They were coming out here with some steam in those race cars for this all-star race.
Probably wouldn't want to run it 600 miles, but it'd probably be all right for over here tonight.
So we have 92 laps complete and 8 laps to go. We're under caution because of this. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. In 1 lap, we'll restart with 8 laps to go. First, down to Dick Berggren at the Care Center.
Jeff Gordon, you've just watched the replay. What happened?
That's the All-Star event. You know, that's just a bunch of guys racing really, really hard. You know, I heard 3 wide right at the last second, and I was already wide open, pulling it down as much as I could. Felt like Kyle probably could give me a little bit more room, and we might have been all right, but I think it was a little bit of surprise 39 was outside of him too. I got a bad restart, and Kyle obviously got one heck of a restart. I don't even know where he came from, and I'm just glad that it wasn't worse than that. You know, I was pretty nervous sliding across the track like that, so thankfully nobody got into me, and you know what? It was a great night for us up until that point. Oh, well.
And here's another restart.
Ready for the restart. Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman on the front row.
Okay, so Kyle Busch goes to the outside, and they tell him, don't do that no more. It's not legal. So then he goes to the inside, and it causes a big wreck. What's he going to do now?
Well, he's got the lead now. Darrell, I very rarely tell you this with 8 laps to go, but you might want to reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
And look at the teammates starting nose to tail in the outside column. Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart.
Pull them any tighter, Larry, I won't be able to breathe.
Well, get a good breath, because here we go.
This ought to be it. It's just
8 to go.
These restarts are just action-packed.
Well, he's bringing them down mighty slow.
And he got a whale of a jump. Look at that.
Timed it just right again.
That might be all it took right there.
Let's watch Newman in that 39 car. Kyle Busch actually had a good enough lead. He could go ahead and move to the top through 1 and 2.
But, Larry, I think Newman's car is hurt. I mean, he hit that outside wall hard. I'm surprised that Kyle's is as good as it is. I thought he may have had more damage. The best car without damage is the 17, but I don't know if he can do anything with the 18 or not.
Oh,
yeah,
smoke from
he's
Newman.
got a tire rub.
Newman's got tire rub.
And here comes his owner teammate, Tony Stewart, in that 14 car. 7 to go.
I think Kenseth probably says, I owe you something, buddy, if I can get to you.
And there he is. He's there. He's to him halfway down the back straightaway. Let's see what happens in 3 and 4.
$1 million in the balance. Who wants it more?
I believe the 7th. Oh, he pinned him down hard, man. He didn't give him much room. Kyle Busch really took him in hard and laid on him, kept him on the bottom.
But down in 1 and 2 is where Kenseth is so strong.
I think, though, the 18 gets in there, and he's going to get that run off of 2 like we've seen all night.
If that was the finish, it would have been Busch, but Kenseth pounds back on the inside, and Stewart is there.
He's never won the All-Star race. He's finished 2nd in his rookie year. Stewart in that 14 car.
He better just watch these 2 dudes in front of him, because I don't think there's a lot of love going on right there right now. Kenseth's going to get the great run off the corner. He clears the 18. That's all it took. He's gone.
Halfway, 5 down, 5 to go.
Ryan Newman has gone to the garage.
Oh, yeah, look at that 17 motor, but here comes, hey, look at the smoke. Now he can run the bottom.
And that was on the bottom. He got that run, Darrell, halfway down the back straightaway. Let's see who goes where.
Yellow.
Caution for what?
Debris in turn 3. Puts us under caution.
Man, this is getting good.
Now you can breathe for a second.
That gum.
Oh.
Well, now, you know what? What would make your car faster than everybody else's, Larry?
Less fuel.
weight. So
Less
that means that on that 10-minute break, they didn't get real aggressive dumping fuel
Didn't
in that
put any
car.
more in than it needed. Who lost the race over here because of that?
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon. So save fuel. Everything comes into play. Every strategy that you can think of comes into play.
Now again, we go back to the last completed lap under green, and that will shuffle the order just a bit. Kenseth the leader, Busch 2nd, and Stewart 3rd. The last time they crossed the line under green, that's how they were running.
Yeah, I think this is bad news for Matt Kenseth, because he's going to have to deal with the 18 now on this restart. And we saw what the 18 can do. He can get some gone.
Well, let's show you the last 2 restarts.
And we're running out of laps for him to catch up and pass somebody. This is classic right
It's
here.
unbelievable.
Look at him wiggle wobble his way right through there.
You know, Darrell and I concluded that Kyle Busch is probably the only one that could get by with that. Then we concluded he's the only one that would try that.
Yeah, right.
Most guys would say, you can't do that. And then here's his last one. And look at the lead he's got there.
Yeah, Ryan Newman's car would not take off. It did get quite a bit of damage to the right side and has since gone to the garage. Jimmy Johnson is in the pit lane along with Casey Kane and Brad Keselowski.
You know, we got a new player up there in that top 5 too. Kyle Busch's teammate Denny Hamlin is up to 5th in that 11 car.
But Larry, what is there, 5 laps to go?
5 to go.
So I tell you, players are players, but we're out of time.
Right.
And you know, if Kyle could get a great restart here, it can make it miserable for Matt Kenseth.
I just believe the guy we have not heard the last of is that cat back there in 3rd, Tony Stewart in that 14 car. We know how bad he wants to win a race driving for Stewart Haas Racing, even if it's the All-Star race.
He was strong right there just before that caution came out. Really strong. He must have put on a little extra Old Spice tonight. He's going out on the town when this baby's over with.
Martin Jr. in the 88 car. He's recovered nicely, back up to 6th. Pit reporter
go this time by.
From the first race, Carl Edwards up to 7th.
Check with Matt.
And Kyle Busch's biggest complaint, Mike, the car just plowing this final segment. In fact, a few moments ago, he just keyed the mic and says, you know, I really don't know what we can do. I'm half tempted just to pull up and bounce the right side off the wall to see if maybe we can just move things around a little bit. And Steve Addy just said, I don't believe that's going to get us where we need to get it.
No. He did that in the truck race at Martinsville. He went down the back straight and slammed it up against the wall to push the quarter panel back in. But I think he's probably got more damage on that right front than he knows.
Yes. Look at this. You tell me these fellas don't want a piece of $1 million? They're all up on the wall.
No. You know what they're ready for? The fight. And look at them, they're pretty big boys.
You think it is short track Saturday night?
I guarantee you.
All the other rules indicate it, right?
Yeah, you got Kyle Busch's crowd down there, and you got Tony's crowd up here. Poor old Matt, I don't know what he's going to do.
Well, they've got a bird's eye view just past the start-finish line, and we've got 5 laps to go. A long night of celebration.
Let's see.
And competition. All waiting to see what happens for the last 5 laps.
There you go. It's what I'm talking about right here. Restrain my boys.
1989.
Hammond told me you go on in the pits. We'll take care of this. We just wanted to tell them we need to do a little cleaning on their uniforms.
If Kyle Busch's car is pushing, what can he do against Matt Kenseth right here?
He has no options. Just go as hard as you can and hope maybe Kenseth doesn't get a good restart. Maybe Tony gets in a race with Kenseth. All he's got to buy is a couple of laps.
The Busch brothers, 1-2 in the outside lane. Kenseth, Stewart, Hamlin on the inside. Here we go.
Field's getting smaller, Larry.
Yes, it is.
5 laps to go. Matt Kenseth brings them down. Green flag.
Uh-oh. Kyle laid back a little bit too far, maybe. He tried to get a run on Matt, but Matt took off better than I think Kyle thought he would. Here he goes.
He gets that run on the high side.
Can't quite pull it off this time.
There comes Stewart in the 14, trying to get back to second down the back straightaway.
Now, I know Tony Stewart is a bottom feeder. If that thing will hook up around the bottom, look out.
And Hamlin on the bottom as well against Kurt Busch. 4 to go.
I don't think Tony Stewart would be shy about using the front bumper of that car. I can tell you that. Not for $1 million and his first win in that car. Man,
that thing is so strong on the bottom. They're side by side, halfway down the back straightaway.
It's the only car here that can come off too low like that with power and with speed.
Keep the speed up. There he goes. Kenseth's a little stronger on the high side, but Stewart's not going to give up.
Got a little loose that time.
3 to go.
Running out of laps. The clock's ticking. The $1 million, man, it's nothing more disgusting than to be running second in this race.
Matt knows he could not open the bottom that time for Stewart through 1 and 2. He hugged the white line.
You're sitting there looking out your windshield, Larry, and you see $1 million driving away from you.
Yes, sir.
The difference first to second, $800,000.
And Larry, did you notice what Matt did? He saw what Tony was doing to him. He took it to the bottom to take away Tony's line.
He's taken for granted Tony Stewart will not go to the high side. 2 to go.
Watch him down here. He's been running high.
He opened the door, though. And Stewart's
got him. He got him.
Bye-bye.
Clear. Adios, amigos.
Now watch Kenseth, though. I bet Stewart will stay to the bottom. Kenseth may pack it in there, go to the high side.
I don't think he's got anything for him, Larry. Once that car got out front, he is gone.
White flag this time.
$1 million pass.
By 3's working the top right a little bit.
Kurt Busch well back in 3rd. Hamlin 4th. Carl Edwards is up to 5th. Kyle Busch has faded to 6th. Earnhardt 7th. Mark Martin, Logano, McMurray the top 10.
Even getting past, you don't think they ramped it up? Kenseth just ran his fastest lap a lap ago.
Larry, what a great accomplishment for Tony Stewart, this team, that organization. Who would have thunk it?
After self-inflicting a penalty on his pit stop, Tony Stewart makes $1 million.
How about his terrible on his pit stop last night? Drove off with only 2 tire changes. And here tonight, they're in winner's circle. And this is the first race that Gene Haas, the other half of Stuart Haas, has been able to come to.
that fence, man.
Good job, Smoke. These guys will go. No telling what these guys will do.
Tony Stewart has 1,058,656 reasons to celebrate tonight. There's Bobby Hutchins.
Oh, boy.
Competition director.
And Mike, Larry, Tony's car doesn't have a scratch on it. It's clean. Showroom clean.
So Kenseth second, Kurt Busch third. Nice run from the back of the field for Denny Hamlin, who finishes fourth, and Carl Edwards gets fifth.
I think there were so many people that questioned about 9 or 10 months ago when Tony Stewart said he was leaving Joe Gibbs Racing after 10 years to go form the Stewart-Haas Racing, and comes in here second in the points. Of course, this night was not about points, but what a year they have had.
Oh, yeah. I think he just wants to blow it up.
Here's the final pass for the lead.
The difference in his car and everybody else's is right down here. Everybody else got right there. They bogged down. They couldn't go. But boy, he was back in the gas and off that corner with a lot of speed.
In the 2 laps prior to that, Kenseth was right on that white line. He would not open the door, but he opened it up that lap right there.
That lap right there, left it open and he went by. You know, I just don't know that we ever give Tony Stewart enough credit for what a great driver he is. I mean, I know we always talk about great drivers. I'm not always sure we put him at the top of the list, but he showed tonight he is a class act.
Now Stewart is parked over in turn 2.
He just wanted to see it. That's where I made that pass. He wanted to take a picture of it.
And I believe that's at NASCAR's instruction.
Yeah.
So that they can arrange the victory celebration on the front straightaway. Here it comes. An early birthday present for Smoke. He turns 38 on Wednesday. And we'll be back with all the pomp and circumstance of Victory Lane.
Y'all don't like $1 million, do you? Way to go, guys. Let's climb the fence, baby. Too old, too fat for it. Let's just have fun with this one.
The thoughts of Tony Stewart. So his crew will climb the fence for him here on the front straightaway. Stewart joins Jeff Bodine as the only owner drivers to win NASCAR's All-Star race. Bodine did it in 1994. And in the 24-year history of the All-Star event, the winner has gone on to win the Coca-Cola 600 6 times, 1 out of 4.
And he's fat, all right. He's fat in the bank account.
He is tonight.
And on the hip.
One night ago, in the mandatory pit stop for qualifying for the All-Star race, Tony got his 2 right side tires, and concentrating so hard on leaving the box cleanly, he took off without waiting for the lefts. He got out about 4 car lengths, stopped the car, said, "I'll be right back." Backs up into his pit stall nicely, no penalty. Got the other 2 tires and went out. So he started deep in the field, 15th because of that miscue, and wins it all.
But you know, you go back to 1999, Tony Stewart started his career with Joe Gibbs Racing. He had to race his way into the All-Star race that night and finish second. That was his best finish to date in the All-Star race, and how fitting. He makes the move to Stewart-Haas Racing and wins the first time in the All-Star race driving that 14 car. His hero's number, A.J. Foyt.
And Larry, when do you have the most fun with something? When it's brand new. And right now, the excitement, the enthusiasm, and the drive and the effort that those guys are putting out over there is exciting because it's brand new. And this is the best start Tony Stewart has ever had to a season. Normally, he's a slow starter. You know, we don't hear anything about him until about June or July. And here he is. I mean, second in the points in the All-Star race.
You look at the run he had tonight, and that cat that finished second, Matt Kenseth, but it's going to be an awesome Coca-Cola 600 next Sunday night.
Tony taking a call on a sprint phone. Steve Burns is right. Mark Martin leads in with the congratulations. Steve?
Thank you very much, Mike. Tony Stewart on the phone right now. Just taking the belts off, steering wheels off. He's talking to Rick Hendrick, and Tony Stewart, climb out of that race car. Tony, you've been so close. Tony, you've been so close early in this season, getting your first win as a car owner. You accomplished that tonight. You also accomplished your first All-Star victory. Put into words what this win means to you.
Oh, it's awesome. Just got to thank our fans. Man, when I got out over there in 2 and came down our front stretch, the response from this crowd's awesome, man. It's they've been behind us all year, and this is for 2 people and 1 group of people, and that's Gene Haas and Joe Custer, and then all for all these fans. And we couldn't do it without Rick Hendrick and his engine and chassis department. It's awesome.
Tony, what does this mean to you, not only as a driver, but as an owner, taking the big risk, taking all the gamble of putting a team together in this competitive sport?
Well, the gamble was for Gene Haas, and he's here with us tonight. And man, I'm telling you, he's not going to miss a week now, because he gets here, and the first week he's here, we win the race. So just so thankful. Him and Joe Custer that gave us the opportunity, and Chevrolet for standing behind us, knowing that we had a long road to hoe. So Ryan Newman should have won this race, and if he didn't cut a tire down, he was going to be here instead of us, so we were going to be just as happy.
Congratulations, you're the $1 million man tonight, Tony.
Yeah, so is everybody on this Office Depot Old Spice team. They did a great job.
What a night of excitement and surprises. 2 big things we learned. Kyle Busch will put that car anywhere, anytime in an attempt to get the lead. And Tony Stewart methodically worked his way to the front, and he was there when it counted, and he banks the $1 million.
Yeah, you know, he left Home Depot, but he opened up his Office Depot, and it's fitting him very, very well, I might add. And what a great group of people there. You know, Bobby Hutchins and Darian Grubb, and that whole crowd over there. It's an all-star group of people, and they deserve that win tonight. I'm so happy for them.
And I think that's awesome that Gene Haas was here tonight. You know, Gene has been in our sport for a number of years, struggled last year, just trying to keep teams up in the top 35. But you know what? This 25th annual Sprint All-Star race, it did not let us down. We talk about unpredictable. You look at the guy that dominated the first segment, Jimmy Johnson, gets involved in the crash. The guy that dominated the second segment, he gets in that crash there in the last segment. Kyle Busch finishes outside the top 10, and then Jeff Gordon that dominated the third segment, he gets in a crash. It's the reason that at a NASCAR All-Star race, you don't tune out until it's over with.
Did you know Tony Stewart was going to win?
No, sir.
No, we didn't either.
No, sir.
How about that? Well, somebody had to finish second. That somebody was Matt Kenseth. Here's Dick Berggren with him.
Well, Matt Kenseth, almost another millionaire tonight. What happened to the car at the end of the race?
We just got it too tight. I think we had a really good car in long runs tonight, and I couldn't hold him off at the end. So I'm really disappointed. It looked like I moved over and he just drove right by me. So I'm disappointed about that. But overall, we had a good car, and we tightened it way up for the end there because we knew if we were in front, we had to be tighter. But with all them short 1- and 2-lap runs, we just got the tires too hot and couldn't hold them off.
Nice job. This guy will be tough next week in the Coca-Cola 600. And you will.
No other sport has an all-star race like this. I'm guessing there was not a butt in the seat for those final 10 laps. Tony Stewart has a birthday on Wednesday. What a great early birthday present, his first all-star win.
I mean, can you really believe it? I mean, we've seen it coming because they've been so competitive, but to be able to pull this off the way they did, it was just unbelievable. And how about Darian Grubb, his crew chief? This guy gets the first win for this team. Well, the last time he got his first win was a Daytona 500 win, being a substitute crew chief for Jimmy Johnson. So congratulations to Darian. I mean, it's got to be so overwhelming to realize all of a sudden he's another $1 million winner.
Well, Tony Stewart wins the race. Tony Stewart, the owner, takes the paycheck back to his race shop. Next week, we return to this track with possibly new rivalries and bruised egos. What will happen when these all-stars have 600 miles to take out their anger? The Coca-Cola 600, one of the crown jewels of NASCAR. You will see it 1 week from tomorrow, Sunday, May 24th on Fox. Our coverage begins at 5 p.m. The 25th All-Star race on Speed 1 for the books. Victory Lane will be coming up next, but it certainly has been a Saturday night special. Tony Stewart is an All-Star winner for the very first time.